Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to the Last Drafts Baseball's live commentary of the NPB. And today we are bringing you the battle between two Pacific League clubs. It is the defending champions of the Pacific League. The Orix Buffaloes are in Seibu to play the Seibu Lions. And we'll first of all give you the starting lineups from the visitors. The Orix Buffaloes leading off and playing shortstop is number 9, Tomoya Noguchi. Batting second and playing center field is number 1, Shuhei Fukuda. Batting third at first base is number 67, Kai Nakagawa. In the cleanup spot and in right field is number 99, Yataro Sugimoto. Batting in the 5 spot and doing the catching is number 4, Tomoya Mori. Batting in the 6th spot and playing third base is number 6, Yumamune. Hitting 7th and at second base is number 8, Marwin Gonzalez. Batting 8th and doing the designated hitting is number 2, Kenya Wakatsuki. And batting 9th in left field is number 61, Takumasa Chano. And they are going to be facing Dietrich Enns, who takes to the hill for the Lions tonight. The lefty, American lefty, is in his second season with the Seibu Seibu Lions. He's making his first start here tonight. And he will take to the hill to face the lineup for the Buffaloes. Well, now the starting lineup for the home team, the Seibu Seibu Lions, leading off in center field, wearing number 10 is Mark Payton. Batting second and playing at third base is number 30, David McKinnon. Batting third at second base is number 5, Shuta Tonosaki. The cleanup spot and playing first base is number 3, Hotaka Yamakawa. Batting fifth and doing the designated hitting is number 60, Takiya Nakamura. Batting sixth in the right field is number 53, Ito. Hitting seventh and doing the catching is number 37, Senasuge. Batting eighth and at shortstop is number 32, Yamamura. And batting ninth and in left field is number 7, Yuji Kaneko. And they are going to be facing, for the Orix Buffaloes, it'll be Sachiya Yamazaki taking to the hill. And we are ready to get this one almost underway as Dietrich Enns is completing his warm-up tosses. And we'll have all the action for you here in just a couple moments. We got our friend Chevy in here tonight. He says, anyone know where I can watch or listen to the Yokohama Dana Bay Stars? Nope, don't have that answer for you right now, but you can possibly be able to pick up in, if you're in the States, I think it's Fans to Fans. They do stuff on delay, and it always comes the next day. If you stick around or bounce back in later when there are a number of people in the chat, Chevy, there are a few people that might be able to direct you to that. The Bay Stars are a team we don't call a lot of, but we do call them from time to time. So that is where we go. Our friend Breathe Deep is in here wanting to know over under at 6.5. Well, I have to say I'd probably lean toward the under in this one. So here we go, everybody. The first pitch of the ball game is ready to happen as Dietrich Enns kicks and delivers. It's a first pitch breaking ball that Tomoya Noguchi takes for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. We are underway at the Baluna Dome in Seibu. The left-handed hitting Noguchi facing the left-handed throwing Enns as he works to the set position and kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It is grounded over to second. It is fielded by the second baseman, Shuta Tonosaki. He flips it to first, and there's one up and one away here in the top of the first inning, and that'll bring up Shuhei Fukuda. Well, for Fukuda, he came into the game last night as a replacement. He has no official at-bats on the season. He gets his season debut as a starter tonight. He bats from the left side against the left-handed throwing Enns. The one thing we talk about in Japanese baseball is they don't shy away from batting the lefties against the lefties. And here's the pitch from Enns. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. Our friend Shotgun Shell is in the house tonight. He says we are underway. We missed you a couple nights ago when we did that one in the middle of the night. We had a couple of technical difficulties last night. There's a breaking ball missing upstairs, and the count is 1-1. We had our cable that goes to our mic had shorted out, and so we had a problem before we even got going. So 1 ball and 1 strike. I think we've got it sorted out, and I think we'll be okay for tomorrow night as well. And of course, we're going to be on the airwaves Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, which will be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, North American time next week. So hopefully everybody can join us for the games that we'll call. There's a fastball that swung on and fouled away. The count is now 1-2 to Fukuda. Fukuda will be followed by Nakagawa here in the top of the first inning. Defensively for the Lions, from left to right field, the left fielder is Yuji Kaneko. In center, it's Mark Payton, and the right fielder is Ito. As here comes the 1-2 offering now from Ends as he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on. It is lifted into shallow right field or left field. Moving in on it is the left fielder, and he's going to make the catch. That is Yuji Kaneko came in. The shortstop, Yamamura, was racing out. There was almost a collision between the two. He yielded right at the last moment. Some communication problems there as we get the replay of it again. Right at the last minute, he squeaks out of the way. And it was a tough shoestring catch there by Kaneko. That is going to retire Fukuda for the second out of the inning. So 2 away, and that's going to leave it up to Kai Nakagawa. Well, Nakagawa last night was 2 for 4. He had a couple of hits in the Buffalo's victory, and he takes a breaking ball over for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. Nakagawa was 2 for 4, as we say, in that ball game, and it took 10 innings for the Buffaloes to beat the Lions. The Lions had themselves a 2-1 lead and lost it in the ninth, and ended up losing the game eventually in the 10th inning last night as a breaking ball misses down, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Right-handed hitting. Nakagawa is here. Our friend Shotgun Shell says, what's the prediction for this one? As the lefty delivers, it's a fastball that misses outside. The count is now 2-1. It's a good question, Shotgun Shell. If you click over to our community page, we're doing everything on the daily these days. And so we are giving our predictions for all of the games. And in this one here tonight, we have the Buffaloes to win again. Although they are in tough early against Ends. There's a fastball swung on as lifted foul into the seats on the right-hand first base side of home plate. Evens the count at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it is. We're going to try to give everything on the daily. I don't know how I'm going to do it tomorrow. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge because I might just have to give you the stuff without any meat to the bones. A pretty full day, and the starting pitchers won't get announced till after I leave in the early morning. We'll get back to late night tomorrow night. 2-2 pitch on the way. It's a breaking ball swung on and tap foul over on the third base side, and that's going to keep the count at 2-2 to Nakagawa. One thing that I'll say about Dietrich Enns, I'd be curious to see how he makes out this year. Seemed to be a big struggle for him getting through the 6th inning or getting to the 6th inning last year. Games that we watched, he seemed to be knocked out in the 6th inning, or he'd get a 5 1/3, and all of a sudden the wheels would fall off, or his pitch count would end up ratcheting up, not as efficient with his pitches as he should be, as the 2-2 is on the way. It's a breaking ball swung on, and it's lifted foul over on the first base side, and the count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Last night, I thought the Lions would, I called the Lions, or the first game was last night. Didn't know if the Buffaloes would be able to do it, as I didn't like the pitching matchup, but then it got into the bullpens, and that's when things can start to go awry. The starting pitchers are one thing. The bullpens are yet another in the game. And here's the pitch from Enns. It's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 3-2 to Nakagawa. This is where I talked about last year with Enns. This is already the 13th pitch of the inning, but this is going to be pitch number 8 coming up to Nakagawa. He is sometimes not very efficient in his pitches. And then there'll be a couple of foul balls, and the next thing you know, he's facing a 9-10 pitch at bat, and there's a fastball swung on and grounded foul on the third base side. And the count remains at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Dietrich Enns. As a reminder, we'll be back on the airwaves again tomorrow for the same 2 teams, same time, same place, same channel. So hopefully those of you could jump in here with us, as we do appreciate the support from our listeners. As here comes the 3-2 offering. It's a breaking ball swung on. This is grounded and just foul down the third base line. The third baseman, David McKinnon, had made the play, and he wasn't exactly the most happy about it. He thought he got it in fair territory. We'll watch it again on the replay. We'll see if we can make the judgment. That is the call of the first base umpire up to the bag, and boy, oh boy, McKinnon may have had himself a case there. But it still remains 3-2 to Nakagawa. This is going to be pitch number 9 of the at-bat coming up here. He's definitely giving the starter Enns a battle. As he digs back in, we're ready to go here. 2 gone in the top of the first inning. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Kai Nakagawa. As the lefty ends, works to the set position, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on and lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats over on the first base side, and here you have it. We are going to have a 10-pitch at bat here in the first inning. And that's the one thing that Dietrich Enns just doesn't seem to quite have. He doesn't have that put-away pitch or that one last pitch that can bury the hitters. He's always just got that little bit of stuff. If he had just a little something extra. Our friend says, or Shotgun Shell says, you need 1,000 followers on TikTok so you can stream the game while you're doing your color. That'd be kind of funny. Here's the 3-2 pitch. It's a fastball that just misses outside. It's going to be ball 4, and Nakagawa gets himself a walk. And that is going to be a runner at first, and it'll bring Yataro Sugimoto to the plate. Well, you weren't in, I don't think, on a couple of the other calls. Our friend Shotgun Shell had jumped in before, and we are going to be, this year, we got a few interesting things on the docket, as we are going to be in Japan from the middle of August until the first week of September. So we got a couple of cool things that are going on, and we're going to have a little bit of fun with stuff. And so we'll be doing some stuff live and on the daily, maybe not calling the games during that time, but we're going to give you some updates and maybe even some raw videos. So hopefully you can pop in and have a look to see what we've got. As there's a first pitch breaking ball that misses down to Sugimoto, and the count is 1-0. But we are going to take people on some tours and give everybody their chance to see what's happening. We'll get to about 10 of the 12 stadiums. We won't get to the ones in Sapporo. There's a fastball that is swung on and fouled away behind home plate, and the count is now 1-1 to Sugimoto. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Last night, Sugimoto was 0 for 4 in the season opener. It's a beautiful day in Saitama. As you can see, the sun is outside the dome, and kind of neat. So hopefully we'll be able to see some of that stuff. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted to deep left field. Racing back on the warning track, up against the wall, and looking up and watching it sail into the seats as the left fielder, Yuji Kaneko, and the score is 2-0 on that home run by Yataro Sugimoto. And just as we said, it was the inefficiency to be able to put away Kai Nakagawa, who battled ends to a 10-pitch at bat. And the next thing you know, Sugimoto deposits a 2-run homer into the seats. And that is going to open the scoring here for the Orix Buffaloes, 2-0 in the first inning, as they are off and running. And that will bring up the former Saitama Seibu Lion and Tomoya Mori. Well, for Mori, he is 1 for 4. He got his first hit last night against his former club, and it was a long ball, a home run. Mori was 1 for 4 in last night's ball game. The big thing I'm interested to see is, are they going to be able to manage the running game without him inside of us? The first pitch is a breaking ball that misses upstairs for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Mori. Lefty against the lefty, Enns rocks into the motion and delivers. It's a fastball that just misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Enns retired the first 2 hitters, and as we said, this was kind of the Achilles heel last year. He gets the first 2 retired and can't put away the third one. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and that runs the count to 3-0. So not good news for the Lions if they have to go to the bullpen early. Enns has got to be able to somehow get through 5 innings for them here tonight. This could be a bad news situation for Saitama. There's a fastball that is swung through and missed. The count is 3-1, so green light to Mori at 3-0. He got a fastball letter high, and he tried to bury that one into the seats, but wasn't able to catch up to the Enns heater, and that runs the count to 3-1. So here's the offering to the lefty. It's a fastball swung on, and it is lifted foul down the left field line, and the count now goes to 3-2. Mori is a tough out at the plate, and he's a huge acquisition for the Buffaloes this year, as he was acquired in an offseason trade with the Lions. When I look at the offense for the Buffaloes, they lost Masataka Yoshida. There's a fastball that misses inside. It's going to be ball 4, and Mori is aboard with a walk here with 2 gone in the first inning. That's going to bring up Yuma Mune to the plate. It's also going to bring The catcher sent a Suge out to the mound. And they're going to have the translator and the pitching coach have a full-on conference with the left-hander Dietrich Enns to see what's going on here. Pitch there that he threw to Sugimoto. He got too much of the plate. Sugimoto was able to keep his hands inside the baseball and lofted that one sky high into the seats. And that has given the Buffaloes a 2-0 lead. Well, the conference on the mound is over, and we're ready to resume the action. The runner at first is Maury. There's 2 gone here in the top of the first inning, and the Buffaloes have themselves a 2-0 lead. Maury establishes his lead over at first, and yet another left-handed batter coming to the plate. And Yumamune, and the first pitch is a fastball, take it for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Mune in last night's ball game was also 2 for 4. He had a homer and an RBI. He bats from the left side. A very good crowd for this Saturday matinee in Seibu. As the lefty kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. The lefty Yamazaki, who is the Buffalo starter tonight, is up and throwing in front of their dugout. As the lefty kicks and delivers, it's a fastball that catches the outside corner, and the count now goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. So 1-2 to Yumamune. Lefty Enns ready to go back to work here as he gets his sign from the catcher Suge. He works to the set position. He checks the runner, and now he throws over to first, and getting back in time is the base runner Maury. But the count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes to Mune. Got to keep an eye on Maury over there at first. So 1 ball and 2 strikes as the lefty works to the set position. He delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It is lined to the shortstop to the shortstop Yamamura, who makes the catch. And that is going to do it. They had the runner Maury on the move, and the shortstop Yamamura was headed towards second base, and he had to stop in his tracks and reach back to make the catch, and that will do it here for the Buffaloes in their half of the inning. 2 runs in the inning on the 2-run homer by Yataro Sugimoto. There was only 1 hit. There were no errors and 1 runner left aboard. We're through a half inning. It is the Buffaloes 2, the Lions no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a couple moments. Appreciate you guys for listening in tonight. We'll be right back after this.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OP-Chi baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Steve Rademacher who is in the house tonight, and we appreciate everything that he does for our channel. And in turn, we'd like to support Steve Rademacher after the game. Be sure to go check him out and see what wild and crazy things he has going on there. Well, it is going to be the top of the order for the Seibu Lions. It is going to be Mark Payton, David McKinnon, and Shuta Tonosaki to get things going here in the bottom half of the first inning. They will be facing the lefty Yamazaki. 0 for 5 last night in his NPB debut was Payton. As he waits on the first pitch, it is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Peyton spent some time with the Chicago White Sox last couple of years. He hits from the left side. He's really wide out at the dish. That's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As the lefty-lefty matchup is in vogue in the NPB. There's a breaking ball that is waved at and missed, and now the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Mark Peyton. The 2 American players are at 1-2 in the batting order tonight for the Seibu Lions. As the lefty Yamazaki delivers, it is a breaking ball lifted softly into left center field. Racing hard in on it is the center fielder, but it's going to drop in front of Shuhei Fukuda. That is going to be a base hit. They're going to have to wipe the blood off the ball as it was able to bleed in. And that is going to put Peyton on at first, his first hit of the NPB career. And there goes the baseball into the dugout, as they'll flip that one to him. So Mark Peyton aboard with a leadoff single. That brings David McKinnon to the plate. McKinnon also in his first year in the NPB. He had a base hit last night in 4 trips to the plate. So he was 1 for 4. Certainly the way that these players want to get going is they want to get off to good starts. Certainly that for Mikael Franco the other night for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles as a fastball is taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Mikael Franco, he had a triple shy of the cycle in his NPB debut. Big night in that opening night of the new stadium at Escon Field. There's a fastball swung on. This ball's belted into deep left field, but there's going to be plenty of space. Moving over now underneath it is the left fielder, Channel, who makes the catch, and that will retire McKinnon. Lots of air underneath that one, but not enough depth. He is gone for out number 1, and that'll bring up Shuta Tonosaki. Well, for Tonosaki, he was on base all 5 times he came to the plate in last night's game. He was 3 for 3, and he also had himself a couple of walks. He is batting 1,000 here in the first couple games of the season. They've got to find a way to get him out tonight. So Tonosaki getting the nod at second base. Well, we saw him last year. We like the way that he swung the bat. I'm a little surprised they've got him up in the 3-hole. But he also was a little bit shaky defensively. We saw him butcher some balls. There's a breaking ball that misses down and in. The count is 1-0. But obviously the Lions like him, and if he has the offensive game, they'll trade the offense for the shoddy defense all day long. So 1 ball and no strikes to Tonosaki. He's got an open stance as he hits from the right side, and Yamazaki delivers a fastball that just misses outside, and the count is 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Yamazaki's one of those pitchers. He really loads up the ball with a lot of rosin from the rosin bag, and when the ball comes out of his hand, it's like a plume of smoke. Explodes out of the backside. That is one of the players who does that here, and we see that for sure. As the lefty is going to deliver the 2-0 pitch, and there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is now 2-1. I saw that a couple of years ago when we started doing the Japanese games. There would be this huge plume of smoke that would come out of the hand of the pitcher, and it was very distracting for the hitter to see that extra white that's coming in from the behind of it. So 2 balls and 1 strike as the lefty working from this stretch. Establishing his lead over at first base is Mark Peyton. As he checks and now he delivers, it's a fastball swung on, and this ball is lifted down the right field line, moving back onto the warning track and making the catch is the right fielder Sugimoto. Retreating back to first base is Mark Peyton. Another ball that was sent deep, just not deep enough, but Tonosaki gone for out number 2, and that's going to bring up the Pacific League home run champion from last year in Hataka Yamakawa. So the Lions have some juice in their lineup. They have some fellas who can put the ball into the seats, and this is one of them here. The DH tonight is Takiya Nakamura. He is a one-time big bopper. He's lost a few steps over the last couple of years. Yamakawa ready to face the first offering from Yamazaki. He delivers a fastball that misses up and away for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. 1 ball and no strikes. We will give updates on the games and the other happenings around the NPB tonight, as there is a full slate of games. Game between the Bay Stars and the Tigers. It is 4-0 Bay Stars right now. There's a fastball that misses outside. They appeal over to the first base umpire as Yamakawa tried to check his swing, but they say he didn't hold up in time, and that's going to run the count to 1-1. Bay Stars have erupted for 4 runs in their half of the inning against the Hanshin Tigers and are off to a 4-0 lead. The game in Escott Field, the Fighters and the Eagles are at zeros in the 4th. Here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on. This ball is grounded foul just past the bag down at third base. It's going to run out to 1-2 Yamakawa. Only other scoring is the Giants have a 1-0 lead over the Dragons. That is in the bottom of the first inning. That is at the Tokyo Dome, or the egg, so to speak. And those are your current scores. All the other games are 0-0 in the early going. So the crowd is in full voice. They are on their feet. They're chanting and clapping. In left field, as the left-handed throwing Yamazaki delivers a breaking ball that floats up to the plate, and it's belted foul down the left field line. The thing there was just, it looked like they were playing slow pitch. That thing came in there. It had almost a teardrop, and the hitter Yamakawa ripped it foul. That keeps the count at 1-2. So 1-2. And the lefty delivers a breaking ball that is swung on and missed. And that is going to retire Yamakawa for the 3rd out of the inning. And that will do it here. They got the bleeder base hit by Mark Payton to lead it off. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We appreciate you guys for being here. I see Scott Roder in the house tonight. I'm glad that you are here, and we appreciate that this is here. Game 2 of the season. It is opening day, was yesterday and the day before, but we're glad that you're here, Scott. We're moving to the top of the 2nd inning, 2-0 for the Buffaloes. We'll be right back after this.
Well, you got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play. But you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
We appreciate you, Matt Hollis, and the support you give to our channel, and in turn, we support Matt. Be sure to check him out and let him know that Last Raps Baseball sent you. Well, we've got the Seibu Seibu Lions and the Orix Buffaloes. Buffaloes are coming to bat here in their half of the 2nd inning. It is going to be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters to face the lefty Dietrich Gens, and that's going to mean it's going to be Marwin Gonzalez, Kenya Wakatsuki, and the last one is going to be Takamasu Chano. As that is what we have here to face Ens. As we said, Ens in the 1st inning was almost the master of his own demise. He got the first 2 batters fairly efficiently. Noguchi on a ground out, Fukuda on a flyout, and then he walked Nakagawa on a 10-pitch at bat, and Yataro Sugimoto made him pay with a 2-run blast. And as we said, then there was the walk to Mori, and then finally Yumamune lined out, but it was an inefficient 1st inning. 30 pitches for the lefty. He's got to find a way to be a little bit better, and then once he gets through that, he does settle down. We saw last year the first offering to Marwin Gonzalez is a fastball that misses up and away for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. Ens gets his sign from his catcher Suge, and he delivers a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 2-0. Marwin Gonzalez made his NPB debut last night. This is his 1st season after spending time many years over in North America with the Astros, the Twins, the Red Sox, and Yankees. The switch hitter is batting right-handed against the left-handed throwing Ens, who kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count is now 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes to Gonzalez. He was 0 for 4 last night in his NPB regular season debut. He didn't exactly have a sparkling exhibition season. As the lefty Ens delivers, there's a fastball that catches the outside corner for a called strike, and the count is 3-1. Be important for this hitter Gonzalez to get going early here. It's always good for import players to get off to good starts. If they get off to a slow start, Well, then the problem is they start putting themselves behind the 8 ball. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is now 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. And there was always the old adage, you have to be better than the players that you are replacing, especially if you come into the game. You've got to be able to do that. As the lefty now kicks and delivers, and it's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded over to third. It is fielded neatly by McKinnon. He throws over to first, and that is going to retire Gonzalez on a ground out. 5-3 for out number 1, and that'll bring up the DH, Kenya Wakatsuki. So 1 gone, and Wakatsuki coming to the plate. This is his season debut at the plate, as he did not appear in last night's, or did not get a plate appearance in last night's ball game. Wakatsuki is the designated hitter. He also has time behind the plate. He hits from the right side. The first pitch is a breaking ball missing upstairs, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Takemasu Chano is awaiting his turn on deck. As the lefty ends, goes back to work. He comes to the set position and now kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball waved at and missed. And the count is now 1 ball and 1 strike to Wakatsuki. Lefty ends, ready to go back at it. He's working from the stretch here as the 1-1 is delivered. It's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded into the 6 hole. A nice backhand play by the shortstop, Yamamura, who throws to first on a couple of hops, but it's not going to be in time to get Wakatsuki. A good defensive play into the 6 hole. That's going to go down as an infield single. A bit tough there for the defensive players and the defensive play. That is going to allow Wakatsuki to be aboard with the first runner of the inning, and that'll bring up the left fielder, Takemasu Chano. I wonder if they'll take a look at that. I'm watching the play again on the backhand side. He had to really reach. He slid on his right side, got up, and he was able to make the throw. And as he was able to make the throw, he just couldn't get there in time. But a good effort there by the Saitama shortstop. So ends now ready to go back to work. But instead he flips it over to first base, and getting back easily was Wakatsuki. Well, it looks like there's going to be lots of fireworks in that game in Osaka between the Tigers and the Bay Stars, as there's a fastball ticket for a called strike. And the count is quickly 0-1 to Chano. Well, we said it was 4-0 at the top of the first for the Bay Stars. Well, the Tigers have come back with 2 of their own in the bottom. It'll be maybe an old-fashioned heavyweight bout where both of the teams will trade heavy blows throughout the ball game. Here's the pitch from Enns. It's a breaking ball swung on, grounded softly to second, over to second for 1, back to first, a double play, and that's going to end the inning here. So it's going to go down as a 4-6-3 double play, and that will retire the Buffaloes here in their half of the second inning. No runs in the inning. There was a hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're now through 1.5 in Saitama. It is the Buffaloes 2, the Lions no score. We'll be back in just a few with all the action here. We're seeing Blake in the house tonight. We are glad that you are back in here with us as well. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back in just a few moments after this. In honor of our friend Shotgun Shell, who makes it in here, we do have our Japanese cheerleaders, and we'll have to update some of that for you this year and get you some live looks as well. Right back after this, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. We are cruising here to the bottom half of the second inning, and it's going to be Takiya Nakamura, Ito, and Senasuge to come to bat, as they will be facing the lefty Yamazaki. And the first pitch is a breaking ball delivered and has popped up in the infield. Moving over underneath it is the first baseman of the Buffaloes, Nakagawa, and he makes the catch. With one pitch, we have one away here in the bottom of the second inning. And that is going to bring up the right fielder, Ito. Blake is asking if somebody can remind him of the Chinese website to stream the games. Well, one of them is the Live QQ, which you can Google and try to be able to get. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Of course, all of the stuff is, as I say, one of those things is, sometimes it's hard. Not all the games are always on there. Apparently, as another breaking ball drops into Ito, and the count is 0-2 now to him. I understand there's somebody was saying the other night, FFM or Friends of or Fans or something like that. There's an American network that will do games on delay now. So in other words, 1 o'clock the next day, they'll get games from the night before. As there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-2. So that might be something that you guys may be able to try to pull up as well. Apparently, one of the fellows who was in the stream the other night said they're actually picking up more of the Central League games. And there's a breaking ball that misses down in the way, and the count now goes to 2-2 to Ito. And I can't remember exactly what that channel was called. We'll have to write that down and mark that one down. But it's somebody else who's got a contract this year. As we said, DAZN had lost it from a couple of years ago. There's a breaking ball that misses, or that swung on and missed, and that's going to retire Ito for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 quick outs, and that's going to leave it up to the catcher, Senasuge. Well, Suge is coming to bat tonight. He is 0 for 4. He's going to take over as the regular catcher for the Lions. As I said before, my concern for the Lions is their ability, or going to be their ability, to control the running game. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Last year, when Tomoya Mori was out of their lineup, teams were running wild. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-1. But this year here, we're going to have to see how that's going to play out. No Suzuki Genda in the lineup tonight, as Yamamura is getting the start for the Lions at shortstop. And there's a slow breaking ball waved at and missed. The count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Suge. The lefty ready to face the right-handed hitting Suge, and he delivers a fastball that really backs him off the plate, and that's going to run the count now to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it is. Lefty Yamazaki ready to go back to work. He gets his sign from the catcher, Mori, and he delivers a breaking ball. It swung on. It's grounded into the 6 hole. It is fielded by the shortstop, Noguchi, and he throws a 5-hopper to first base, and that's not going to be in time. That's going to be an infield single for Suge. That's the one thing that you see in Japanese baseball, is that players going into the 6 hole, they don't have the rocket arms that we see or maybe fortunate to see in North America. When you think of the Dominican shortstops and the American shortstops, and whether it be the Puerto Ricans, Venezuelans, whoever's playing over there, just some of the guys, they have such plus arms. And that one there, it was a 5-hopper for that. Steve Rademacher jumps in. There's a breaking ball that is taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1 to the shortstop, Yamamura. Steve Rademacher giving his selection. He says he's got the Lions to win, and he's going to take the over in this one. Well, it'll be very interesting to see where that goes. There's a breaking ball that just misses inside, and the count is 1-1 to Yamamura. Yamamura was 0 for 4 in the opener last night. Blake says you cover Pacific games, right? No Central. We do very few Central games. There's a fastball that is swung on and missed, and that's going to run the count to 1-2. I don't want to say no, but we do cover the odd Central Division game from time to time. And one thing I find, this is on a personal note, is that we definitely get to know the teams in the Central or the Pacific League a lot better than the Central. But we will look to sprinkle some Central League games in from time to time this year, as well as the interleague play, as there's a fastball swung on and missed, and that is going to put away the shortstop, Yamakawa. It's going to go down as a strikeout, 2-3 on the putout, and he has gone for out number 3 here. So there was no runs in the inning. There was a hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We're now through 2 complete. It is the Buffaloes 2 and the Lions no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with the action after this from our friend Steve Rademacher, who, by the way, is in the house tonight.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top half of the 3rd inning. It is going to be the top of the order coming up for the Buffaloes. That means Tomoya Noguchi, Shuhei Fukuda, and Kai Nakagawa to face the left-handed throwing Dietrich Enns. We had started to give the defensive alignment for everybody tonight. I don't think we got through them both. But we started with the defensive alignment for the Lions. It was left field is Yuji Kaneko, the center fielder Mark Payton, and right field it is Ito. Around the horn from first to third, it is Taka Yamakawa, Shuta Tonosaki at second. The shortstop is Yamamura, and at third base, David McKinnon. As the first pitch breaking ball drops in for a called strike. Count is 0-1 to Noguchi. And of course, the battery is Enns and Suge. Noguchi is 0 for 1 tonight as he grounded to second his first time up, and he takes a fastball outside, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Left-hander against the left-hander. Enns ready to go back at it again as he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and tap foul behind home plate. The count is now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Have our friend the living room in the house as well tonight, as he is back in. We're wondering if the basement or the upstairs will follow, as there's a breaking ball waved at and missed. And Noguchi is down on strikes. He is out number 1 here in the 3rd inning, and that is the first strikeout in the books for Dietrich Enns. That will bring up the center fielder Shuhei Fukuda. Well, Fukuda tonight, he's 0 for 1. He flew out to left field his first time up. It was a ball that hit to shallow left field as Yuji Kaneko and the shortstop Takayoshi Yamamura almost collided as the first pitch breaking ball misses to Fukuda for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. And is ready to go at it again, and here comes the offering. It is a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is now 2-0. Going to try to cover some of the Central League stuff when I'm in Japan. I'll get some tours and maybe some on-field action for people here. And there's a fastball that catches the outside corner. Count goes to 2-1. As we'll add some of that stuff into our streams. Hopefully it'll be some interesting things that people will be happy to watch and to see. As here's the 2-1 offering. It is a breaking ball swung on. This ball is hit into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit in front of the left fielder, Kaneko, and he fires it back in, and that's a one-out single for Fukuda here in the third inning. That's going to bring up the first baseman, Kai Nakagawa. Well, Fukuda opens his account on the season. As we said, he didn't get a start in last night's game, so 1 for 2 now for him on the fledgling year here of 2023. Nakagawa comes to the plate. He had a fantastic at-bat his first time up. He took the pitcher Dietrich Enns to 10 pitches before drawing a walk, and then that was with 2 out. Yataro Sugimoto deposited a 2-run shot with him on base. That's where we stand as the Buffaloes have themselves a 2-0 lead. And Enns fires over to first base and diving back in time as the base runner Fukuda. Fukuda is a threat to run. Our friend at the living room says he went against my picks for this game and took the Lions plus 1.5. As here's the offering, but instead they throw over to first base, and getting back in time is the runner Fukuda easily. Well, we'll see what happens. As we said last night, we went 3-2 last night after missing on that opening game. I always a bit early in the year, it's always a bit tough because everybody's fresh. The bullpens haven't been used up. Most of the teams don't have any injuries of significance at this point. As they again Enns fires over to first base, and again getting back in time is the runner Fukuda. Our friend Philip says, I faded 2, but on the money line, there's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count now goes to 1 ball and no strikes to Nakagawa. As I say, some of the picks early on in the year, you have to be, I say cautious, but it's kind of like a boxing match. You start to see how some of the teams are managing their arms and what they're doing, as there's a fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side. Brian Tesoro is in the house here. He says, go Lions tonight. Desara, I thought it looked like an O there. I'm a little at distance to read my chat, but welcome, Brian. Buffaloes have a 2-0 lead here as they are batting in the top of the third inning. As we said before, once the torch is passed over to the Lions bullpen, that's where the excitement begins. We'll have to see how they've cleaned it up this year, or if they've cleaned it up. As again, throwing over to first base is Enns, and again diving back in time as the base runner Shuhei Fukuda. As the lefty works to the set position, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into right center field. Getting on his horse and racing over is the center fielder, and this ball is off the wall. It is going to be trouble. Rounding third and heading home is the runner Fukuda. The throw gets by the catcher. Very strange play. Nakagawa is get himself a double, but the throw coming in, he had to avoid the ball because the catcher was coming up the line. He'd run into Fukuda a little bit, and then Fukuda had to kind of move around him, but he is going to score the run. So a 1-run, an RBI double there by Nakagawa has driven in Fukuda all the way from first base, and the Buffaloes now have extended their lead to 3-0 here in the third inning, and that'll bring up the home run hitting Yataro Sugimoto, who hit that one out in the first inning. Very, very weird. And I wonder if they're going to take a look at this, because the catcher was in the line, and then it was Fukuda was trying to get by him. And then he reached out and grabbed his hand, grabbed him at the waist, sort of pulled the catcher a little bit, but I don't think they're going to have a peek at this. That's the way it goes. So Sugimoto is going to step to the plate as he's going to face Dietrich Enns here. Runner at second is Nakagawa, and the first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So Sugimoto, 1 for 1 tonight with the home and a couple RBIs, 1 for 5 on the season. As the big fella here gets the nod in right field tonight, waiting on the first offering from Enns. As he checks the runner at second and delivers a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count is now 2-0. Sugimoto waiting here as he's ready for the offering, as he's waiting on the left-handed delivery. And here's the pitch from Enns. It's a fastball that misses down. They appeal over to the first base umpire, but they say he didn't go, and the count is 2-1. Brian says, where can I find a stream for this game? We were talking about this the other night. There's another channel that's going to be out there that they are doing replays of games the next day at 1 o'clock. I want to say it was like Friends of something or other. They picked up the rights in the United States, so nothing I don't believe is live. Everything is like 1 o'clock Eastern the next day. They run the games back. I don't know if there's a live feed. It used to be DAZN, and ABC Sports in Hawaii used to have feeds of the Japanese games. So I'm not sure where our American friends can watch that. There's a fastball that misses inside. The count is now 3-1 to Sugimoto. Tomoya Mori, the former Lion, waits his turn on deck. Phillips says, I hope that the bullpen melts down. Well, we'll find out. I'm not sure about the Buffalo bullpen. That was one of their strengths last year. So 3 balls and 1 strike as Enns leans in and shakes off his catcher, Suge, and now he gets the call that he likes. Here's the 3-1, and it's a breaking ball that misses down. It's ball 4. And Sugimoto is aboard with a walk. That's going to put runners at first and second with 1 gone, and that'll bring the catcher, Tomoya Mori, to the plate. And again, it's going to bring the catcher, Suge, out to the mound to talk to Enns, and it's going to bring the pitching coach out for the second time in 3 innings with the interpreter, because they've got to have a word here with their import lefty. A whole host of trouble going on right now in this one as the bases, or there's runners at first and second. Enns is struggling here as we take a look at that out-of-town scoreboard once again. Bay Stars are now up 5-3 in the second inning. They put 4 on the first. The Tigers came back with 3 of their own, and now they put another one up. So 5-3. That's going to be probably the over-under has already been busted through in that one. Tohoku is leading the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters 1-0 in the top of the 5th. And the other score is the Giants are leading the Dragons 1-0. All the other games are locked at 0s. We'll keep our eyes on those out-of-town scores throughout the night. So here we go, ready to go back at it. Tomoya Mori at the plate. Of course, he had caught Dietrich Enns last year, so he knows what he's got. First pitch is a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Our friend in the living room says this game might get ugly, and it very well might get ugly. One swing of the bat here could blow this thing apart in a big hurry. So here comes the 1-0 offering to Mori as Enns delivers a breaking ball that misses down and away. The count's 2-0. The crowd that's in attendance, though, is in good voice tonight. So 2 balls and no strikes. The over-under in this one might be a bit of a challenge. I didn't take a look today to see what the over-unders on this particular affair would be. Yes, here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It's grounded back to the mound. Menz throws it into center field, and they're not going to get anybody. That's going to score the runner, Nakagawa, all the way from second base. Not a very good play by the pitcher, Enns. He came off the mound. He fielded the ball, and he fires that one into right center field. They needed to get the out. The most important out is the first out, let alone the double play ball, because that probably would have been a tailor-made double play. It's going to be an E1, no RBI there for Mori. Nakagawa is going to come all the way around from second to score the 4th run of the ball game, the 2nd of the inning. The ball was into the second base side. The shortstop, Yamamura, tried to come across the bag to get it, and it was out of his reach. And he tried to stay engaged with the bag, and the second baseman, Tonosaki, was not in a place where he could back it up. He was already too far gone. And now we've got a 4-0 lead here. And that's going to bring Yumamune to the plate. It did bring Yutaro Sugimoto all the way around to third as well. So runners are on the corners. One gone here in the third inning. Yumamune steps in. He's 0 for 1 tonight as he lined to the shortstop his first time up, and he takes a fastball for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Mune. As the lefty ends, has got himself in a pickle, that is for sure. As here he offers and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and missed. Now the count is quickly 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to Yumamune. As we look at the live updates, scoring all over the place in that Yokohama Hanshin game. 5-4. Where is the pitching? Or maybe better yet, where is the defense? Yokohama has a 1-run lead. This one here, the Buffaloes are up 4-0, as we said. And they're looking for more. So runners at the corners. Mune here at the plate. He is in the hole at 0-2. And's getting his sign from his catcher, Suge, who had just come up front to give some signs for the defense. As the lefty ends, holds in the set position, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and lifted foul down the third base line. Our friend the living room says he's into 6 straight hours of watching wrestling. Ben Roberts back in the house tonight. We appreciate you for being here. As I tapped away for a little bit. No balls and 2 strikes it is to Mune. I forgot to ask Ben the other night where he calls home in the American side. When we were chatting with him a couple of years ago, it was Yokohama was his nesting or resting place at that point during the pandemic. So no balls and 2 strikes to Yumamune. We appreciate you for stopping by again, Ben, for another stream. There's a breaking ball again, swung on and fouled away. And the count is going to remain at no balls and 2 strikes. Friend Brian asked if they do have spring training for the NPB. Yes, they do. It wrapped up on Sunday of last week. Called a couple of games in the NPB exhibition. We saw the Carp. Tried to do some of the teams we don't always see in the Central League. We called the Hanshin Tigers a couple of times. So no balls and 2 strikes it is, as Yumamune is batting here against Dietrich Enns. There's 2 runs on the board. Runners are on the corners and 1 gone. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is now 1-2. Ben says he's in Cleveland, Ohio. Yeah, Okinawa is the training site. That is for sure for the spring training for, I think it's about 8 of the 12 teams or 9 of the 12 teams. Cleveland, Ohio, 2.5-hour drive from where I used to live. Always fun going to see the Indians play, or Guardians now, as they throw over to first base, and getting back easily in time is the base runner Tomoya Mori. Yumamune hit that line drive to the shortstop his first time up tonight. It was a hit and run with 2 out. He is 2 for 4 in last night's game with the home run and RBI. So Mune off to a smooth start. As the lefty ends, works to the set position, and now he's ready to deliver again. He kicks and he fires. It's a breaking ball that is swung on and fouled away. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. And for a lot of people, they used to say Cleveland was the mistake on the lake. Cleveland really did quite a good job of cleaning up that downtown area for a while. I don't know what it looks like today. That was going back in the early 2000s. I think they had the Galleria downtown. They put the football stadium there. They obviously the baseball and the basketball arena side by side. Always fun to go to Cleveland. They used to have something years ago called the Flats, which is a district or a bar district and bar area. I don't know if that even exists anymore. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into left field. Tagging at third is Sugimoto. The ball is caught. Here comes the throw to the plate. Sugimoto is digging hard. The throw is not going to be in time. They're going to go down to second base. And Mori is going to slide in safely. It's going to be a sacrifice fly to 7. It's going to be an RBI for Mune. Sugimoto is going to bring in the 5th run of the ball game here in the 3rd inning. And Tomoya Mori will advance to 2nd as well. So he gets into scoring position. And that will bring up Marwin Gonzalez to the plate. Well, here we are in the 3rd inning, and right away you can see with the sight of a Seibu Lions, some of their execution. They challenged the arm of Yuji Kaneko. Sugimoto, not the fleetest of foot, but he was able to score, and then they went on the tag at first base to 2nd. Not able to cut that one down either, so they don't get anybody, and they still are in a pick here as they've got a runner in scoring position and 2 gone. And Gonzalez at the plate looking for his first NPB hit as he takes a breaking ball down for ball 1. The count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. The lefty ends, comes to the set position, and now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. Check that. I got it for a called strike, but they took that for a ball. I thought that looked for sure like a called strike. But maybe not so, says the home plate umpire. So here's the 2-0 pitch. It's a breaking ball that drops in now for a called strike. Heck, the pitch before looked a lot better than that one. So Marwin Gonzalez is probably talking to himself. 5-0 lead here for the Buffaloes in the top half of the 3rd inning. Lots of baseball still to be played in this one. But the Lions are staring down the barrel of a gun right now here as they find themselves in the deficit. So the lefty ends, holds set, checks the runner, and now delivers. It's a fastball swung on and lifted foul on the first base side, and the count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Friend Ben says downtown is looking a lot better now than it did back in the day. The flats are still there, but a lot of apartments and condos. He says people actually living downtown again. That does make a huge difference. When you lose the downtown core, it becomes a ghost town in a lot of cities. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As Enns now steps off the backside of the rubber. As time has been called, we'll do this all over again. I know they're flashing, even on the game, they got DAZN ads, but I don't know if there's DAZN here. And there's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted down the right field line. It is slicing into the corner. If it stays fair, it's going to be trouble, and it is. It bounces down. It's off against the wall, and cruising into 2nd is Gonzalez with a double. That's going to score Mori from 2nd, and the score is now 6-0 for the Buffaloes. There is a full-on stampede happening here in Saitama as they have themselves now a 6-0 lead. That's the first hit of the NPB career for Marwin Gonzalez. Gonzalez just did an excuse me swing. He threw the pad out the ball. The ball was down the right field line. It was slicing just out of the reach of the right fielder, Ido, and then the ball got by him into the corner and kicked around. He had to go in after it, but that is where we're having it here. 6-0 is the lead, and Dietrich Enns is on some life support here, trying to get out of this inning. There's 2 gone here as he faces Kenya Wakatsuki, the 8th hitter of the inning. The first pitch is a fastball swung on and missed. The count is 0-1. Wakatsuki is 1 for 1 tonight. He's got a single in his only trip to the plate. Friend Shotgun Shell says a stampede. Absolutely. The Buffaloes are rampaging on the base paths. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on and missed. And the count now goes to 0 balls and 2 strikes to Kenny Wakatsuki. 6-0 Buffaloes. They are flexing their muscles and showing everybody why they were and are the defending NPB champions. And the pitch from Enns on the way. It's a fastball swung on and did foul down the right field line. Count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. As we said, the only other game that's got all kinds of scoring is in Osaka at the Osaka Dome, where the Hanshin Tigers are trailing 5-4 to Yokohama. Here comes the offering from the lefty ends. It's a fastball swung on, and this ball is hammered foul into the netting down the right field line. Again, it's going to keep the count at 0-2. Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. It was Hiroto Kobakata who scored the run. He was driven in by Hiroki Shimauchi. There is action in the Lions bullpen. They do have a right-hander up and throwing now. We'll get that for you eventually. Here comes the offering from ends. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. Count remains at 0-2 to Wakatsuki. 5 pitches into the at-bat, and he's got quite the battle going on here. So curious to see what they're going to be bringing in. As that hurry-up call to the bullpen is on big time now. So the lefty ends ready to go back at it here as he gets his side from his catcher, Suge. As he works to the set position, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses down and in, and then Wakatsuki has to hopscotch out of the way, and that's going to run the count to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. 6-0 for the Buffaloes. Never want to jump to too many conclusions. Didn't check the over-under on this one here, but would have to think we're approaching the over pretty quickly. And there's the lefty. It is a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count is now 2-2. Yeah, I couldn't see the backside number. It looked like it was 40-something. As Ben Roberts says, it's he thinks it's Kazuki Honda. Wasn't sure which one it was. It was a right-hander that was up and throwing. And here's the pitch from ends. It's a fastball swung on and missed, and that's going to mercifully end the 3rd inning here as the Buffaloes are down for the final out. Well, there was lots of damage in the inning here as Orix put 4 runs on the board. There was 4 runs on the benefit of 3 hits. There was 1 error, and there was 1 runner left aboard. We are now through 2.5 innings. It is the Orix Buffaloes 6, the Seibu Seibu Lions, no score. Stick around, everybody. We still got 7 innings of baseball for the Lions to catch up. But if you're looking for a victory here, this might be a hard one here tonight. We'll be right back after this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the Seibu Seibu Lions coming to bat here. It's the 9-1-2 hitters in the order. That means it's going to be Yuji Kaneko, Mark Payton, and David McKinnon. And the first pitch is swung on. It is popped up over on the right side of the infield. Moving over underneath it is the second baseman, and that is Marwin Gonzalez. He's going to make the catch. And that is 1 up and 1 away. It's exactly how the second inning started, with the first pitch being popped out by Takeya Nakamura, and they start the third inning the same way, swinging at the first pitch and popping out here as well. Well, that brings Mark Payton to the plate. Well, Payton got his NPB, first hit of the NPB in the first inning. He had a leadoff single. Payton is 1 for 6 on the season. A friend in the living room says Ben knows his stuff, as the first pitch is a breaking ball that's delivered for a called strike. The count is 0-1. And just to put it out there, if Ben Roberts was to do the color commentating, he'd be a guy I'd recruit because he is pretty sharp indeed. There is a breaking ball that bounces up to the plate, and the count is 1-1. Of course, when you spend time in Japan and you're around that stuff, you definitely get to hear some of that and see some of that stuff. There's a breaking ball that is waved at and missed. The count now goes to 1-2. And when you follow the NPB, it's certainly when you follow it as you follow the Pacific League, as we say, maybe more than we do the Central League. There's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded over to second, fielded by Gonzalez as he goes into shallow right field, and he throws to first. And Peyton is going to be retired. It's going to go down as a ground out 4-3 for the second out of the inning, and that will bring up David McKinnon. Well, for McKinnon tonight, he just got underneath the pitch. He had flown out to deep left field. He is 1 for 5 on the season now. He bats from the right side against the left-handed throwing Yamazaki. That's another thing here, is that the ball game, it is very, very quick. As the first pitch breaking ball drops in for a called strike. What I mean by quick is the Lions are quick to get themselves out. As the lefty ready to resume the action, Yamazaki delivers a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. So Tonosaki here ready to go again as he is going to kick and deliver. It's a breaking ball that is swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Just as a reminder, we'll be back on the airwaves again tomorrow for all of the action between these same 2 teams in the finale. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count now is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. As the lefty Yamazaki ready to go back to work. Fireworks early and often in this one. And there's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded up the middle, and it's past the pitcher and the diving second baseman Gonzalez into center field. It's going to be a 2-out single here for McKinnon, as he's going to collect his second hit in as many games. That's going to bring up the second baseman Shuta Tonosaki. I have to say, it was a good approach at the plate there by McKinnon. He did a pretty good job of staying inside the ball. The pitch was low and away. He took it right back up the middle past the pitcher, and of course it got by the middle infielder, the diving second baseman Marwin Gonzalez. That brings Shuta Tonosaki to the plate. And for Tonosaki, he is 0 for 1 tonight as he flew out to right field his first time up, and he takes a breaking ball over for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike it is. Batting from the right side against the left-handed throwing Yamazaki. And here's the offer. It's a fastball swung on. It is grounded over to third. It is fielded neatly by the third baseman Mune, who fires over to first. And that is going to do it here. It's a ground out 5-3 to end the inning. A nice play by the Buffalo's third baseman. Well, they had no runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was no errors and 1 runner left aboard. We're now through 3 complete. It's the Saitama Seibu Lions trailing the Orix Buffalo 6-0. And based on the move of the manager, we may have seen the end of Dietrich Enns. But we'll be back here in just a couple moments, everybody, with all the action after this.
Hey, guys. While the manager's searching for a relief pitcher, let me help you with some relief channels. On top of mine and Freddy's, you can always check out Redbeard Breaks, Zero Fox Sports. You know another Hollis build, check them out again. Maybe Beast and Beauty Breaks, or even Dab's Family. Oh, looks like they have their pitcher, so after the game, check out some other videos by Freddy. They're fun, they're cool. Enjoy the game, peace out, and cheers!
Welcome back, everybody. We do have a pitching change on our hands as the Lions have gone to the bullpen. And it is looking like it is going to be the right-hander Honda. And we will get you his specs in just a couple moments. We are playing with our different feeds. That's number 45. Just to confirm on that, that is Keisuke Honda, the right-hander. So he is going to take over for Dietrich Enns, who had himself a rough outing here in this one. So Enns out of the game after 3 innings. And Honda now in. And the pitching parade will begin for the Lions. And this can't never be good for the Lions because, as we said before, they are, I guess the way I would put it, the Lions are a team that last year their bullpen was one of their weakest links. Well, if you're putting a lot of strain and pain on the bullpen because your starting pitching can't get you more than a 3 or 4 innings, that's going to be a tough day at the office. So we'll see how this is going to play out, especially shaping up for tomorrow night's game, as they'll be back for round number 3, and the Buffaloes will be licking their chops, looking for a sweep potentially if they can finish this one off. So it is the 9-1-2 hitters in the batting order. It's going to be Chano, then the top of the order, Noguchi and Fukuda here in the 4th inning to face Honda, who kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. For Chano, his first time up, he grounded into the 4-6-3 double play. He is 1 for 4 on the season now. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, it's a fastball swung on. It is popped up over on the third base side, and it's going to drift into the seats. It's going to run the count to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Right-hander Honda ready to go back at it again as he gets himself a new baseball, rubs it up, and then gets onto the rubber. So this is the kind of ball game that, as we're watching it here, we might have to go and get that kettle going and have to keep us all awake. There's a fastball that swung on and tap foul over on the third base side, and the count remains at 0-2. Actually, that last pitch was a changeup. It looked like it was a 4-seam fastball, but Honda had a changeup grip on that pitch. Those ones there are often harder to be able to identify. It is a 4-seamer that does come, but doesn't have the spin. There's a fastball swung on. It is grounded over to the second baseman. That is fielded neatly there by Tonosaki. He throws to first, and that's going to retire Chano on a ground out 4-3 for the first out of the inning, and they'll bring up the top of the order in Tomoya Noguchi. Our friend Ben says that, do you know that if FTF Sports NPB streams are official? I saw them on NPB Reddit. From what I understand and from what I've heard, and I don't know this for fact, that they are going to be doing games on delay. It'll be about 1 o'clock in the afternoon the next day, and they're calling a lot of Central League games. But I don't know what they're doing in terms of that. So I'm not sure. I haven't really heard a whole lot at this point, but I did hear that they were doing some of that stuff. But I didn't know if it was going to be live streaming or if it was going to be delays across the board. But I haven't seen enough of it. In fact, I happened to see it on a Facebook group. So there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and I can't remember which one it was. I sort of went by and I kind of looked at it, and I said, I don't know who that is. And then some of the guys in here the other night were talking about it a little bit. There's the 1-1 pitch, and it's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. I'd be curious to see what comes of that. Certainly the Japanese league, if it wants to get some exposure outside of Japan, needs to spread its tentacles a little bit. There's a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count's now 3-1 to Noguchi. There are English audience who do want to listen and watch or see the games. And I get it. You know, if I have a chance to watch the Cleveland Guardians or the Seattle Mariners over Japanese baseball, most people in North America would probably choose that. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses inside. That's going to be ball 4. Noguchi is going to be aboard with a walk here with one gone, and that'll bring up the center fielder Shuhei Fukuda. Yeah, Ben Roberts says it's interesting that the Pacific League seems to be wanting to get more viewership. You got to tip your hat to the Pacific League. They do a great job. Pacific League specifically because they're trying to get their brand out to everybody else, whereas on the flip side of the coin, Central League, they don't have a league-wide contract. It's kind of every team for himself, every man for himself. So Fukuda steps to the plate. He is 1 for 2. He's scored a run. He's got a single and a fly to left field in his 2 trips. And here comes the offering from the righty Honda. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined over to third, caught by McKinnon. They throw back to first, and the ball gets away from the first baseman. And that is nobody there. The catcher was trying to back up the play. Nice play there by McKinnon, trying to get the double play, but he almost hurt his team by firing that ball away. But nice play by him to retire Fukuda, and that is going to bring up the first baseman Kai Nakagawa. And just as Ben says, having the unified Pacific League TV platform obviously helps a lot. Absolutely. When, you've got the sharing of the revenue between the teams, they understand how to buy into that. Whereas, the Murray Giants, and I'm not speaking out of turn, but, thinking about it, where the Giants might look at it and say, hey, we're going to deal with this, or we're going to isolate on our own because we think we can brand and make more money on our own. And we don't want to pull other teams like the Chinichi Dragons or, maybe even Yokohama with us, although Yokohama's got money. As there's a breaking ball that misses down. The count is 0-1. Rather than thinking maybe for the betterment of the game, it might be best for all of the teams to be working together on that side of things to get more revenue into their league, being the Central League. So Nakagawa is 1 for 1 tonight. He's also walked. He's scored a pair of runs. And there he swings at a fastball, and he hits that one down the left field line. It's into the corner. Rounding second and heading for third is Noguchi. Here comes the throw back in. And Nakagawa's got himself yet another double. He is now 2 for 2 tonight, and that's going to bring Noguchi all the way around to third. And again, the Buffaloes have something brewing here with 2 out in the 4th inning, and they'll bring up Yataro Sugimoto to the plate. Well, if you thought 6-0 was a big lead, if Sugimoto can do something here, it could really blow this game apart. And then we'll have to get into telling stories for the rest of the night. Either that or cracking open the beer and see if there's any beer to be flowing around here as well. Unfortunately, the fridge is empty of the beer. But something's going to have to kill the pain, and Yataro Sugimoto strides to the plate. He bats from the right side against the right-handed throwing Honda. Runner at second base is Nakagawa. The runner at third is Noguchi. And here comes the first offering to the right fielder for the Buffaloes. It's a fastball that misses down for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. Just watching this right-hander pitch, he's throwing at about 141 kilometers, which, quick math in my mind, is about 87 miles an hour. As the right-handed hitting Sugimoto ready to go again. Honda works to the set position. And now he kicks and fires. It's a fastball swung on. It is lined on one hop over to first base. It is fielded by Yamakawa. He races to the bag. And that's going to retire Sugimoto. It goes as a ground out to 3 for the 3rd out of the inning. Well, no runs in the inning. There was a hit, no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. We are now moving to the bottom of the 4th inning. Your score is the Buffaloes 6, the Lions. No score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call at the bottom of the 4th inning in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the heart of the batting order coming up for the Lions here in the fourth inning. That means Hitaka Yamakawa. Then it'll be Takia Nakamura and Ito to face the left-handed throwing Sachiya Yamazaki, who has cruised through his first 3 innings of work. And the first pitch is a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is quickly 0-1. Yamakawa. 42 pitches through the first 3 innings for the Buffaloes lefty as he's ready to go back to work again. He kicks, delivers. It is a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Yamakawa here looking for his first hit of the season. He is 0 for 6 as Yamazaki delivers a breaking ball that is swung on and tapped foul behind home plate. The count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 2-2 to Yamakawa. And there's the pitch. It is a fastball that just misses inside, and the count now goes to 3-2 on Yamakawa. Here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball that is swung on and tapped foul. That is going to be keeping the count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the 3-2 is ready to go as the lefty kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It's grounded through the 6th hole into left field. And Yamakawa is aboard with a leadoff single here in the 4th inning. And that'll bring up Takia Nakamura. Sometimes if I could share some of the stuff, I get emails from parents and different things. It's almost kind of funny here. Get some emails. We got too much choice in the community where we live in. People just don't know how to manage the time for their kids or whatever else. It's unbelievable. I should do a compilation and a YouTube story on some of that stuff in itself. It'll be high-end entertainment. People will be in tears laughing at some of the crazy stuff. So here comes the first offering from Yamazaki. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into left field. It's going to be down for a base hit. And Nakamura is going to get himself his first hit of the season. So back-to-back singles. And the Lions are kicking up their heels here as it's going to bring up the right fielder, Ito. Well, Ito comes to the plate. He is 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out in his only trip up, but he is 1 for 5 on the season, and that was a home run. Our friend at Living Room Sports says, I can't wait for Rademacher Mania this weekend. Hollywood Hollis takes on all challengers. And the main event, Stone Cold Steve Rademacher defends his title in a neighbor from heck match. There you go. That would be pretty good. Yeah, Ben Roberts says parents in sports is high-end entertainment. Yeah, it's high-end entertainment. I tried to give the toughest speech tonight to the parents and the kids that showed up as we're running programming for a local association. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1 to Ito. I basically said, if you can't get your kid here on time and you don't want to do it, get lost. Go do something else. Don't waste my time. There were 3 hours on the field on a Friday night working with your kids to get them better. And if you don't want to do it, then don't come. Go play field hockey. There's a fastball swung on and it's grounded foul. It's going to run the count to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. But I should probably do some of that stuff, just make a compilation of things over the years. I've got a really good story from a number of years ago. When we first started the business, there was an American who was a national team coach. I won't say what sport because then you guys could dig it up and look at it. And he had 3 kids. As it's no balls and 2 strikes here to Ito. And the pitch on the way, it's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into right field. And this ball is going to get down for a base hit. And that is going to move everybody up a base. So it's station-to-station baseball. Base hit for Ito. Back-to-back singles here to start the 4th inning. And that is going to bring up the catcher, Senatsuge. So the Lions, if they're going to get back into this one, they got to do something now, as they've set the table here with 3 runners on and nobody out in the 4th. As the right-handed hitting Ito was able to stay inside the ball, go the other way. Good piece of hitting. The bases are full of Lions. Looks like we may have ourselves a slugfest here. So Senatsuge comes to the plate. He's 1 for 1 tonight. He is 1 for 5 on the season. As the folks here are probably going to stroll back into the stream if we can make this one a little closer. And here comes the offering from the lefty Yamazaki. It's a breaking ball swung on and foul right at home plate. And the count is 0-1. All the other scores from around the NPB, as we continue to get the updates, the Spank Hawks have a 1-0 lead over Chiba. That's in the middle of the 5th. The Fighters have knotted one back as they got a run against the Eagles. That is 1-1 in the bottom of the 6th. Swallows and Carp are still locked at 0s. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-1. With regards to that Swallows and Carp game, it's Daichi Oshira who goes, I believe, tonight for the... No, he went last night for the Carp. I forget who's going for the Carp tonight, but I think it was Robert Gazelman was going for the Swallows. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Suge as the pitch is on the way. It's a fastball that misses low, and the count is now 2-1. So interesting to see how some of these games play out. As we mentioned before, for those who are interested, we are giving the picks on the daily. It might not be as an expanded or a big road tomorrow, as problem is I've got time scheduling on my own conflicts. There's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded through the hole into left field. That's going to get a run in. It's going to keep the bases loaded. An RBI single for Suge. That's going to score Yamakawa from 3rd. Nakamura goes to 3rd. Advancing to 2nd is Ito. And the Lions are kicking up their heels. It is now a 6-1 ball game. Bases loaded and nobody out. So 4 singles in a row have the Lions strung together, and that brings up the shortstop Takayoshi Yamamura. Phillips says, can we see a meltdown? Well, it's starting right now. So the Lions here, who basically didn't do anything against Yamazaki in the first 3 innings, have finally figured something out. Brian says they need the grand slam here. Yeah, well, I don't know if this is the part of the lineup that can do it, but they need to turn this part of the batting order over so they get a shot at doing something the next time around. Certainly the American players and Tonosaki and these guys to keep it going. So here comes the left-handed hitting Yamamura to the plate. And the first offering from Yamazaki is a breaking ball, waved at and missed. And the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Yamamura in the hole here at 0-1, waiting on the offering. He is 0 for 5 on the season. He struck out his first time up, and pitches a breaking ball swung on it. Has popped up into shallow center field. Racing in on it and diving. Did he make the catch? Not sure. We didn't get any signs from the umpire. All the runners have held up. Oh boy, what a play by the center fielder, Shuhei Fukuda, as he pulls that one off his shoestrings. He's had a good night at the plate and a fantastic play now in center field, as he is able to haul that one in for the out. Wow, what a great play. We had a hard time seeing that one. That one looked like it was going to get down, and if it would have got down and got by him, then that would have been trouble in River City for the Orix Buffaloes, as that would have probably cleared the bases. And we'll get the replay of that one there as he makes the catch. He was diving for the ball. That's exactly what happened, and that is going to be out number 1 here. Nobody was able to advance or to score. That's going to bring up the left fielder, Yuji Kaneko. So 6-1 here for the Buffaloes as the Lions have got one back. Kaneko steps to the plate with one gone, bases loaded. As the lefty Yamazaki ready to deliver, he kicks and fires. It's a fastball that misses outside for ball one. Count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Kaneko. Kaneko is waggling the bat, waiting here on the offering from the lefty, who works to the set position and now delivers. It's a fastball swung on and tap foul, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So Yamazaki gets himself a new baseball. He rubs it up. We're ready to get this one going. Our friend Brian says you got to keep the line moving if you're a Lions fan. Got to keep that conga line moving is correct. 4 singles in a row to start the inning. And there's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is grounded through the 6 hole into left field. 1 run is in, and they're going to hold everybody up because the conga line has moved again. That's an RBI single for Kaneko. The score is now going to be 6-2. As that brings in Nakamura from third, and it moves Ito over to third. Suge goes to second. This ball game apparently is not going to be over anytime soon. So if you pick the over on the first 5 innings, you cashed that one in a while ago, but you might even be approaching the over on the ball game. So 6-2 is the scoreline as the Lions have cashed in their second run of the inning, and they're still threatening with the bases loaded. So Brian is pretty excited as he's looking for the Lions to do the damage. Well, that brings up the top of the order in Mark Payton. Payton is 1 for 2 tonight. He had a single his first time up, but he grounded out to second his last time. And the first pitch is a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. You know, you have to almost say that with 5 hits here in the inning, kind of makes you wonder if they know what's going on, if the lefty Yamazaki is tipping his pitches. Had some pretty good swings in the inning. It's like they know what's coming. So here comes the 1-0 offering to Payton. It's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is hit. It's over to first. A nice play by the first baseman to make the play. And what do we have here? Oh, we got a collision at first base between the umpire and Mark Payton. The umpire comes up with the right hand, and that is going to retire Payton. It's going to go down as a double play. So it was a ground ball to the first baseman Nakagawa. He came up, he threw it home, and that is going to be a 3-2-3 double play to end the inning, and that will do it here for the Lions. Well, they got a couple of runs back, 2 runs in the inning on 5 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left aboard. We are now through 4 complete. Your score is Orix 6, Seibu Seibu Lions 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a couple moments after this. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top half of the 5th inning. It is a 6-2 ball game. We'll be back in just a few after this. We got to get ourselves yet another drink to keep this one rolling. A drink of water is on the way. We'll be right back in 30 after this. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving now to the top half of the fifth inning, and it is going to be Tomoya Mori, Yuma Mui, and Marwin Gonzalez to come to bat against Keisuke Honda. 6-2, the Buffaloes have the lead, and Mori squares to bunt, but he takes that pitch up and away for ball one, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Mori, in this one here tonight, he walked in the first inning and he reached on an error by the pitcher in the third inning. He also came around and scored a run. He is officially now on the season 1 for 5 with a homer and an RBI. And here comes the offering from the right-hander Honda, who kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into straightaway center field, and it's going to get down for a base hit in front of the center fielder Peyton. And Mori is aboard with a single. So a leadoff single here for the Buffaloes in the fifth inning, and that will bring up the third baseman, Yuma Mune. Well, for Mune, he is officially 0 for 1 tonight. He has a line to the shortstop, and he hit a sac fly to left his last time up to drive in a run. So 0 for 1 officially on the books, 3 for 5 on the young season. And he is going to bat here. I wonder if they're going to square to bunt, if that's in the repertoire here tonight. They're going to try to get Tomoya Mori over to second base that way. So Mune has that in his repertoire, but they may not necessarily go to it here. Yes, he is. He is squaring to bunt. It is down, and it's a decent one. It's up the first base line, but it's just going to spin foul. And that is going to run the count quickly to 0-1. That'll bring the base runner all the way back to first. So no ball and 1 strike to Mune. As the right-hander Honda ready to go back at it again. He is on in relief of Dietrich Enns. As Mune steps to the plate. He gets himself settled in. He's ready here to get the offering from the right-hander Honda. And he kicks and delivers. It is a split finger pitch that's swung on and missed. The count is now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. The right-hander ready to go at it again here as he gets his sign. No balls and 2 strikes. Honda leans in. He nods in agreement. He takes a look at the runner at first base, and now he works to the set position. And now he kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on and foul over on the third base side, and the count goes to 0-2 on Mune. Mune will be followed by Marwin Gonzalez and maybe Ken Wakatsuki. He can keep this one going. So Yuma Mune hitting from the left side here. Buffaloes are the defending Pacific League champions and Japan Series champions. They went from first to worst a couple of years ago. Lost in the Japan final, and then went back last year and won it. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is now 1-2 to Mune. This is a nice-looking ball club that they have here. They can do a little bit of everything. They got some pitching. They got some defense. I really like the way that they've improved their bats. They are maybe a better hitting ball club this year than they were last year. That's saying a lot because they lost Taki Yoshida to the Boston Red Sox. Here's the 1-2 pitch as that fastball misses low and the count's 2-2. But the addition of Tomoya Mori and Marwin Gonzalez, and we are yet to see Frank Schwindel in the lineup yet for the Buffaloes. Those 3 players in and among themselves will give the opportunity for the Buffaloes to possibly be able to get back to the Pacific League Finals. Although I have to say, we've made our predictions and we feel that it's going to be the year of the Hawks. As the right-hander works set, now he kicks and delivers. It's a split finger pitch, waved at and missed, and Mune is down on strikes. He's gone for out number 1, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Marwin Gonzalez. Our friend, the living room, is giving Joseph some pieces here. He says, what's the Japanese streaming website where I can watch the games? So if you go over to NPB Reddit, says the living room, just take a look at it. And here comes the pitch. Is a fastball that catches the inside corner for a called strike. And the count is 0-1. So if you just go over there and you type that in, you'll be able to see a laundry list of stuff. I talked about it a little bit earlier. There is a new one, FTF, what is it, Fan to Fan, is now carrying something in the States. As there is a fastball that misses down, and the count is going to be 1-1 strike. A good block there by the catcher, Suge. He was able to hold the runner at first base. So 1-1 strike to Marwin Gonzalez. Gonzalez, his last time up, he had a double and knocked in a run. He's also grounded over to third. So 1-1 strike it is as the right-hander now kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on. It is lined right to first. Nice catch by the first baseman, Yamakawa, who steps on the bag. Mori is doubled off, and that is going to do it. It's going to be a line drive out. Got to say that Gonzalez hit the ball on the screws. He has gone for the second out of the inning, and then, of course, that doubles off Mori for out number 3. And that will do it here in the top of the 5th inning. No runs. There was a hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're moving to the bottom of the 5th inning. Your score is the Orix Buffaloes 6 and the Seibu Seibu Lions 2. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments after this. And it looks like, I wonder if we're going to see a pitching change here. Are the Buffaloes going to their bullpen as well? Well, we'll find out when we get back. Here's our friend Steve Rademacher. He might know.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OP-Chi baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and the support you give to our channel. It does look like the Buffaloes may have seen enough from their young left-hander, and it's going to be a battle of bullpens from here on out. To me, if that's the case, the needle right away points to the Orix Buffaloes. We'll have to get you that pitching change here in just a moment, as it is going to be the bottom of the 5th inning coming up here. But boy, Yamazaki did get hard in that last half inning. There were 5 hits in the inning by the Lions. They have 8 in the ball game through the first 4 innings, but you'd never know it. 6-2 is the scoreline as we're moving here to the bottom of the inning. And by the looks of it, this is Mikitaka Higa into the ball game as he is going to be on in relief of the left-hander Yamazaki. So Higa on in relief. We've seen him pitch before. We saw him also in the spring training. And he looked pretty good. So Mikitaka Higa on in relief. And the first pitch that is delivered to David McKinnon is a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is 1-1. McKinnon, Tonosaki, and Yamazaki here. That is who we have here in the batting order as the right-hander Higa kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It is jammed. It's going to take in on a bounce by Gonzalez. He flips to first. That's going to be a ground out 4-3 for the first out of the inning. 1 up and 1 away, and that is going to bring up Shuta Tonosaki. As we take a look around the other ball games, that game in between the Tigers and the Bay Stars, all knotted up at 5s. Giants have added another run against the Dragons. They're up 2-0. 3-0 now for the Hawks over the Marines. And, of course, the Golden Eagles and the Fighters are all locked at ones. So here comes the first offering to the right-handed hitting Tonosaki. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Higa rocks into the motion and he delivers. It is a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike it is. I was chuckling to myself a couple years ago when we first started doing this, and Ben Roberts, our friend in our Korean friend, would be the only 2 guys in the chat as we're calling this game. Of course, now we got a few more people in here, and the other night we had as many as almost 30. Now, tonight, it's a little bit of a quiet night. I don't know if it's because of the 2 teams that we're covering tonight. And there's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count now goes to 2 balls and 1 strike to Tonosaki, which could be the case because they're definitely not glamour teams, either one of these. The Lions here facing the Buffaloes as Higa kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to short, fielded neatly by the shortstop Noguchi. He fires to first. That's going to retire Tonosaki on a ground out 6-3 for the second out of the inning. That's going to bring up Hataka Yamakawa to the plate. Ben says the Korean guy still tune in. We never saw him once last year. The Korean guy who was living in Vietnam. Never saw him at all. Emailed with him a few times the year before, and then he disappeared. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Hataki Yamakawa. Higa rocks back into the motion and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 1-1. He was quite the interesting character. He had 1,000,001 questions. He'd even come in on the MLB live streams. But 1 ball and 1 strike it is as the righty Higa delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into just behind second base. Moving over underneath it is the shortstop Noguchi, who makes the catch, and that is going to do it as the Lions will go quietly here in their half of the 5th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now through 5 complete. Your score is the Buffalo 6, Lions 2. I'm going to put the music on a little bit of loop because of those of you who know here. It is our Japanese halftime, as we like to call it. And the thing is that, because it's Japanese halftime, that means that we're going to be taking a little extra time out as they've got a little ceremony for the home plate umpire. On top of that, they'll give some highlights from around and about, and we'll take an extended little break here. Music on loop. We'll be back in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. It's the extended break. As we say, it's the Japanese halftime as they are taking that little extra time in the Pacific League. I noticed that they really don't have the extended break after the fifth inning in the Central League. I don't know if that's because of the two different leagues, but they have their innings break after 5 here, and it is always a little bit longer. We are going to take a look at around the scores from the NPB. It is 1-1 in the bottom of the 7th between the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles and the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters. The Murray Giants have the lead in the top of the 7th over the Chinichi Dragons 2-0. In the other games, the Yokohama Dana Bay Stars and the Hanshin Tigers are all locked up at 5. The Bay Stars jumped out to that 4-0 lead in the first inning and weren't able to hold it. Nothing but the Swallows and the Carp. 3-0 for the Hawks over the Marines. And, of course, this one here, it is 6-2 for Orix as they are going to the top half of the 6th inning. Looks like we are going to have a pitching change as well, as the Seibu Seibu Lions will be going to the bullpen, but we'll have to look. It looks like it's going to be, if I've got this correctly, Katsunori Harai. We'll see if that is officially the case or not. Another right-hander that is coming into the ballgame for the Lions, as it is he and the catcher. And as we said, we expect a full-on pitching parade from this point on out. And that's exactly who it is. So we have the right-hander Katsunori Harai heating up, of course. He is going to take over here, as he is going to begin here in the 6th inning. The third pitcher used. Dietrich Enns went 3, and then it was the right-hander Kensuke Honda came in for a pair of innings, and now it is Harai onto the mound. So that will be where we're at. As we said, interesting stuff around the NPB as we look at a few news and notes from the NPB as well. A couple of other pieces to this is you've got the obviously Munetaka Murakami opened his account yesterday. He Swallows, the defending Triple Crown winner. Cuba is wanting compensation for Yariel Rodriguez's breach of contract in Japan. Apparently, the Cuban is demand multi-million compensation for Rodriguez's breach. I'm not sure what that is all about. That was one of the pieces that had come up. Comes the offering from the right-hander Harai. It is a fastball swung on a grounded foul just past the bag at third base, and the count is 0-1. It'll be Kenya Wakatsuki, Tokamara Chano, and then the top of the order, Tomoya Noguchi here in the 6th inning. Other news, it was the Buffalo's pitcher, Shimpido Yamashita, was the first Buffalo pitcher in 69 years to make his NPB debut as the opening day starter. So that pitch is a fastball that misses, and the count is 1-1. The last pitcher in club history to do it was Takeo Kajimoto, and back in 1954 when it was the Hankyu Braves. There's a fastball swung on it, is grounded up the middle, past the glove of the shortstop, Yamamura, and that's going to get into center field for a base hit for Wakatsuki. He's aboard with a single, his second hit of the ball game, and that is going to bring up the left fielder Takamasa Chano. Well, for Chano tonight, he is 0 for 2. He's grounded into a double play, and he's also grounded out to second in his 2 trips to the plate. 1 for 5 on the fledgling season. He's got no homers, no RBIs, but he does have a stolen base already. We're in the top of the 6th inning. It is a 6-2 lead for the Orix Buffaloes over the Seibu Seibu Lions. As the right-hander leans in, he checks the runner over at first base. And here comes the pitch. It is bunted. It is popped up, and it is foul. And a diving effort by Suge to try to catch it. It was behind the catcher there, and that's going to run the count to 0-1. Yeah, you have to start wondering if the Buffaloes are going to start nickel and diming it here. And why not? You have a 6-run lead. You got to try to add to your lead, maybe 1 run at a time here. So Channel here digs himself in. And here comes the offering from the righty, but instead they throw over to first base, and getting back in time is the base runner. So that is going to be keeping Wakatsuki in check. No balls and 1 strike here to Channel. The right-hander works set and now delivers. Again, they squared a bunt, and again, it's bunted foul right into the feet of the hitter, and that's going to run the count to 1-2. So the Buffalo is going to keep the bunt on with 2 strikes. Well, we're going to find out here. I certainly think I'd be doing that. So no balls and 2 strikes to the left-handed hitting Channel. As he waggles the bat, waiting here on the offering from the right-hander Harai. Action in this game has slowed a little bit. It's been feast or famine. And there's a fastball swung on its line back off the glove of the pitcher over to the shortstop for 1, and they're not going to be able to get 2. He almost took the head off of Harai. That was a line drive bullet back. He got his glove up in time before it took his head off. The ball deflected over to the shortstop. Well, that'll wake people up. And the ball came to the shortstop, who threw it to second for the fielder's choice. We'll get the replay of that one. Boom, off the glove of the pitcher, went back to the shortstop side of the shortstop as he was almost at second base. And then that ball ended up being a 1-6-4 fielder's choice. That's going to erase Wakatsuki. So the runner Channel is at first, and that'll bring up the top of the order in Tomoya Noguchi. And they throw over to first base, and getting back in time is the base runner. In the bottom of the 7th inning, the Yakult Swallows have scored a run to open up the scoring in that game between them and the Hiroshima Toyo Carp. 1-0 for the Swallows. Be interesting to see how they're going to set up the back end of their bullpen here, as they lost their closer David McGuff to the Arizona Diamondbacks. There's a breaking ball that misses outside to Noguchi, and the count is quickly 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. So Noguchi batting here as they throw again over to first base, and diving back in time is Channel. Channel had a stolen base in last night's game, so you got to keep an eye on him. He does run well. One would think here they may try to test the envelope to try to steal him over to second. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses outside, and the count now goes to 2-0. Well, if they don't steal him, this is a good count to put the hit and run on. CV baseball card collector in the house. Welcome. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Thanks for popping in. Left-handed hitting Noguchi, waiting here on the offering from the right-handed throwing Harai, who kicks and delivers. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is now 2-1. 6-2 Buffaloes as they bat here in the top of the 6th inning. Runner at first is Channel. He was able to get there safely on a fielder's choice. Here comes the 2-1 to Noguchi. And the right-hander again throws over to first base, and again diving back is Channel. They obviously are on to something. The Fighters have taken a 2-1 lead over the Golden Eagles. That's in the 7th inning. Bite your fingernails about the Golden Eagles bullpen this year. They're a little bit on the shaky side. As the right-hander works to the belt. Now here comes the first offering. It is a breaking ball that is taken for a strike. And on the move is Channel. They throw down to second base, and the throw is going to be in time. Suge is going to nail him. That's going to go down. Caught stealing 2-6. This channel has gone for the second out of the inning, and they'll bring even the count at 2-2 to Noguchi. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. It was a good throw by Suge. It was on the second base side of the bag. The shortstop was able to get over to make the catch and just apply the tag perfectly. That's going to retire the base runner there. And here we go back to the live action again as the right-hander kicks and delivers. There is a breaking ball swung on, his tap slowly over to first. They flip it over the pitcher covering, and that's going to do it. Noguchi goes down as a ground out 3-1 for the third out of the inning, and that will do it here. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. Or sorry, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now through 5.5 innings. It is a 6-2 ball game for the Buffaloes over the Lions. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in a few minutes after this. We appreciate you guys for bouncing in here tonight and to listen to us and all the calls.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole. Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving here to the bottom half of the 6th inning. It'll be Takeya Nakamura, Ito, and Sinasuge scheduled to come to bat. You face the reliever. We think it may still be Mikitaka Higa, but we'll have to wait and see, as maybe another one in the pitching fray for the Buffaloes to come tonight. As we mentioned before, it is going to be bullpen time, and it is. Looks like we are going to have a pitching change. Is that going to be Shota Abe? Because it sure doesn't look like Higa. So we'll pick up the number here in a moment, as it is Hataka Yamakawa on to hit. The first pitch is a fastball swung on, is lifted in deep center field. Moving back underneath it is Fukuda on the first pitch of the inning. There's 1 up and 1 away. It's the 3rd time tonight in 6 innings. The leadoff hitter in the inning has been retired on the first pitch. So 1 up and 1 away, and that's going to bring Ito to the plate. It looks like it's Hitomi Honda on the mound, if I've got that correct. That's exactly who it is. So we've got a Honda for each team that has got to the mound. Hitomi Honda. And here's the first offering. It is a split finger pitch swung on and missed. And the count is quickly 0-1. Honda on in relief here for the 3rd pitcher used by the Buffaloes tonight. So no balls and 1 strike to the right-handed hitting Ito. As Honda gets his sign from his catcher Suge and delivers a split finger pitch swung on and missed. The count is now 0-2. The way that he has been fooled here, you might as well give it to him again. Give him another one. Let's see if he waves at it yet again. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. It's a fastball that just misses off the outside corner, and the count now goes to 1-2 on Ito. The right-hander, ready to go back to work. Gets his sign, and again, a split finger pitch that misses down, and away count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2. Action in this game came early and often off the bats of the Buffaloes, and the Lions were able to claw back with a couple in the 4th inning, and that's where we stand at 6-2. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away down the right field line, and the count remains at 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Right-handed hitting Ito wangles the bat. Waiting on the offering from Honda. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into right center field. It's going to get down. It's going to get up the gap. It's not going to quite get to the wall. Digging for 2 is Ito. The throw comes in, and he's going to reach second base safely with a 1-out double. That's Ito's second hit of the night. He's off to a good start here in the early goings this year. He is 3 for 7 now on the season, as he gets a nice round of applause from the home faithful. That's going to bring up the catcher, Senasuge, who's already got a pair of hits tonight and an RBI to go with it. Nice play there by Fukuda to get into the right center field gap to cut it off. Not to let that get to the wall. If that would have got to the wall, we might have saw a triple for Ito. So here comes the offering now from Honda. It's a fastball that catches the outside corner for a called strike. The count's 0-1 to Suge. Suge 2 for 6 on the season now, as he's waiting on the offering here from Honda. Now he works to the set position. He checks the runner, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and fouled straight back into the catcher, and the count is 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. As a reminder, tomorrow we will be back on the airwaves again, same time. It'll be 10 o'clock Pacific or 1 a.m. Eastern, as we'll be giving the call of the game between these same 2 teams. It'll be the finale of the series. The right-hander checks the runner, and now he delivers. It's a fastball swung on and missed. Suge is retired for the first time today, and this time via the strikes. He's gone for out number 1, and that'll leave it up to the shortstop, Takeyoshi Yamamura. Well, Yamamura is 0 for 2 in this one. He has struck out and flown out in his 2 trips to the plate. 0 for 6 to start the season. He is playing in the place of Suzuki Genda as the regular shortstop for the Seibu Lions. Genda, of course, was the shortstop on the Classic team. It won the championship in North America. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, it is a split-finger pitch swung on and fouled off, and the count is 0-1 to Yamamura. Yamamura to be followed by Yuji Kaneko here in the 6th inning. Right-hander against the left-hander. Honda checks the runner at second. Now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into left field. Moving over underneath it. It's deep, but not going to be deep enough, and that's going to be hauled in by Chano. That is going to do it here for the Lions in their half of the 6th inning. There was no runs in the inning. There was a hit. There were no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. We are now through 6 complete innings. It is the Orix Buffaloes 6th, the Saitama Seibu Lions 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call at the top of the 7th inning right after this from our friend Steve Rademacher. If Steve is still here, well, keep you entertained.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs, we have pounds, we have Deutschmarks, we have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OP-Chi baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Thanks again, Steve, and we appreciate you and your support of the channel. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all of the live action. After this, when we return, we'll be back in 30 right after this. Another pitching change in Saitama as the Lions are going to the bullpen. It's going to be Shinosuke Sato, the left-hander, taking over here. Pitcher number 4 used by the Lions here tonight. And we would probably expect to see a couple more after this one as well. So Sato on in relief. And he'll be facing the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the Orix lineup. That means Shuhei Fukuda, Kai Nakagawa, and Yutaro Sugimoto. For Fukuda tonight, he is 1 for 3. He has singled and scored a run. He's lined to third and flown to left. This is his first start of the season as the lefty delivers a fastball that is swung on and fouled away. Count is quickly 0-1 to Fukuda. Fukuda followed by Kai Nakagawa and Yutaro Sugimoto, as we said here in the 7th inning. As the lefty works to the set position, kicks, and he delivers. There's a fastball that swung on and fouled away down the third base line, and the count is now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Nakagawa to follow on deck, who's had a hot night at the plate. So it'll be interesting to see how he fares here as the lefty works to the set position, and now he kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. And Sato has got himself his first strikeout in the books tonight as he takes care of Fukuda for out number 1 here in the 7th, and that'll bring up the first baseman Kai Nakagawa. Our friend Standing on Money says, who's going to win tonight? Well, Standing on Money, if you go to our community page, we have given you all the predictions for all of the NPB games. You can do that and check in to see who we've picked and why we picked them. As the first offering is a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. Nakagawa tonight, 2 for 2. He's got a pair of doubles. He's scored a couple of runs. He's got an RBI. He's also drawn a walk. On the season, he is 4 for 6 on the fledgling year as the lefty works to the set position. And now he kicks and he delivers. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into left field. If it stays fair, it's going to be trouble, and it's just going to hook foul to the left of the foul line. So a long strike there for the hot-hitting Nakagawa. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. We'll give our predictions on the daily as well. So if you get a chance, that'll be a good thing there. Javier Hernandez is back in here. He says it's a good thing to be back into the chat. We appreciate you for popping in here, Javier. We welcome you tonight to the stream. And here comes the offering from the lefty. It is a fastball swung on, and it's line foul down the right field line, and the count now is 1 ball and 2 strikes to Nakagawa. Our friend Standing on Money says under 9.5. I don't do a lot of the over-unders. At the outset of most games, I would say probably lean toward the under in the Japanese league. But that being said, the under 9.5 in this one here, as we're at 8 with 3 innings to play, I don't know if I like that or not. It's a shaky Lions bullpen. And we're not going to see the best bullpen arms for the Buffaloes, so I guess you'd have to take a look and see what the odds are if you're doing the live stuff. As that fastball was swung on and fouled away, it's going to keep the count at 1-2 to Nakagawa. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. As it is to the right-handed hitting first baseman for the Buffaloes. As the lefty Sato works into the set position, and here comes the 1-2 offering. He kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on and lined into the netting foul over on the third base side, and the count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. We will be calling some major league games at some point later in this year, and probably add a few into our schedule next week. So be sure to check to the channel when you get a chance for that, as we will be keeping updated on all the happenings in Major League Baseball. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses down and away. The count is now 2-2 to Nakagawa. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Standing says at this point going over the 9.5. Yeah, That's what I would probably lean towards. You've only got 2 runs to do it, and I think the scoring is not going to be finished in this one. We may, at 4 runs, not see the best of the bullpen arms for the Lions as they're down by 4. And, of course, the Buffaloes up by 4. It's a little bit of a stretch here, but I don't know if you'll see their best bullpen arms if you're up by 4 or more. There's a fastball swung on and it's fouled straight back, and the count is 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sato gets himself a new baseball and he's rubbing it up, ready to go again. Other scores from around the NPB, the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters are now at 3-1 on Tohoku. They have a 3-1 lead. It is a 2-0 lead for the Giants in the bottom of the 8th over Chinichi. As there is a breaking ball swung on, it is lifted into shallow left field. Actually, check that. It's shallow just behind the shortstop position. The way that they panned in on the camera, we thought we were going to have the left fielder coming in to make the grab, but it's going to be the shortstop who's going to retire Nakagawa for the second out of the inning. So 2 away, and that's going to leave it all up to Yataro Sugimoto. For Sugimoto, he is 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a home run, a couple RBIs. He's walked and scored a run. He's also grounded to first. As the lefty Sato leans in and gets his sign. As he works to the set position, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Sugimoto. So the other game is the SoftBank Hawks have a 5-0 lead over Chiba. That's in the bottom of the 7th, and in the middle of the 7th, the Tigers and the Bay Stars are all locked at 5s. That game definitely went over the over. I can't see that one being much more than 11 combined runs, is where it's going to have to be if they get a winner. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Tomoya Mori is on deck should Sugimoto find a way on base. Big fella is 1 for 6 on the season at homer and 2 RBIs. As the lefty works to the set position, and now he kicks and he delivers. It is a fastball. It's taken for a called strike. The count is now 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lefty is working hard here as he is ready to go. Getting the sign from his catcher and working set at the belt. Now he kicks and delivers, does Sato, and there's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sugimoto batting here with 2 gone. Twice tonight. Actually, check it 3 times tonight. The Buffaloes have gone down in order in their innings, but it's always been unconventional. This is the first time here. They've gone 1, 2, 3 the regular way as Sugimoto swings at a high fastball, and he is retired for out number 3. That will do it here for the Buffaloes in their half of the 7th. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now moving to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Your score is the Orix Buffaloes 6, the Seibu Seibu Lions 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action after this from our friend Matt.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city, San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Appreciate you there, Matt. and your support of our channel, and in return, we support Matt Hollis. It is going to be the bottom of the 7th inning, and that means it's going to be the 9-1-2 hitters in the batting order to come to bat for the Seibu Lions. Yuji Kaneko, Mark Payton, and David McKinnon will be coming to bat here. We're checking up to see if we're going to have ourselves a pitching change. We welcome Max to the stream tonight. Hope you're doing well. As we see that he is with us, or I say she's with us, as I believe it is Maxine, if I'm not mistaken. Well, there is a pitching change. It is going to be number 63 in the ball game, and this is going to be Sachiro Yamazaki in. As Sachiya Yamazaki started, but now Sachiro Yamazaki on the hill. The hard-throwing right-hander on in relief for the Buffaloes. So Yamazaki is in, and Honda is out. So Kaneko, who comes to the plate, is 1 for 2 tonight. He singled and drove a run in his last time up to the plate. He is now 2 for 5 on the season. Yeah, everything is going good there, Max. We appreciate you and your support listening in. When you're not in the tennis stream, and here's the pitch. It's a fastball that swung on and lifted foul, and the count is 0-1 to Kaneko. Yuji Kaneko batting in the 9 spot tonight. As we mentioned, the scores from around the rest of the NPB, as there are all full slate of games. The Golden Eagles have now tied it up against the Fighters in the top of the 8th inning, as the breaking ball is waved out and missed, and the count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Fighters can, or the Golden Eagles can come back and win, I think right now, with the exception of, well, that and I think we've got ourselves the Bay Stars for a victory tonight, as there's a split finger pitch that misses down. The count is 1-2. Be curious to see how we fare in our picks tonight. Season record 3-3, but we went 3-2 last night after stumbling out of the gates in the opener on Thursday. So here comes the 1-2 pitch as Kaneko waiting here on the offering from Yamazaki. It is a split finger pitch that misses. The ball squirts away from the catcher, but the third base umpire says that he didn't go, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it is to Kaneko. And then it'll be the top of the order, Mark Payton and David McKinnon to follow. Great crowd on hand at Seibu to see the Lions. I was curious to see how many people would be wearing masks and how many people are not. And there are some people in the stands not wearing masks. I'd say that'd probably be more like 1 in 10 people. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. And that is going to do it here for Kaneko. He is down on strikes for the first out of the inning. So the Lions are starting to run out of lives here. Our friend Max asked the question, says that on a different live stream earlier, said that baseball is losing popularity in the U.S. Do you agree with that, in your opinion? I think it's been trending that way for the last number of years, to be honest with you, Max. Of course, basketball and football, American football, very popular among the viewing audience. There's a breaking ball that misses upstairs for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. And then, of course, when you think of Major League Soccer, after the 1994 World Cup, they started the MLS. And I think they had, 8 or 10 teams. As the fastball swung on this ball is belted to left field. It's slicing down the line, and it's going to drift into the seats beyond the netting. It's going to run the count to 1-1. And so with the MLS, Major League Soccer, I think they're up to 29 teams now, which is crazy. So you think about that, in a 29-year period, they've gone from 10 teams that contracted to 8, and then they went right up to 29, which is pretty insane for soccer in North America. And there's a fastball swung on its tap foul over on the first base side, and the count is 1-2. And so baseball, in terms of its popularity, it's certainly not growing. It's been treading water, if anything, or losing ground. And I don't know if they're necessarily going the right way. I think that the fact of the matter is that it's a bit of a problem in North America. So here's the 1-2 pitch. It's a breaking ball. It's lined up the middle. It's going to be a base hit. That's going to be the second hit of the ball game for Peyton, as he is aboard with a 1-out single, and that is going to bring up David McKinnon. Yeah, the interesting part, owning a MLS franchise is like owning a Subway franchise. Yeah, it's one in every small town. Yeah, the interesting part about the MLS stuff is that they went into what I call a lot of tier 2 markets, the next level down markets where they've, teams like in, for example, Colorado. I don't know if that's a tier 2 market, but San Jose, I call Vancouver a tier 2 market. It's, it's good for certain sports. And there's a fastball that swung on and fouled away, and that's going to fouled off of the catcher, Maury. Took the brunt of that one. It's going to be and 1 to McKinnon. And Maury's going to get a visit from the trainer. It looks like it may have caught him in the hand. So we'll see if Maury's going to shake it off, but no, they're going to walk him over to see if he can get the magic spray. So Tomoya Maury, they're going to have to take a look at his hand. We'll see where that's at. We're going to take a time out here, everybody, because we're going to be back in about 45 seconds or so. They're going to take Tomoya Maury and take him in to have a look at that hand. That's what they do in the Japanese league, and we'll come back and chat with the chat. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back right after this. As we said, a break in the action because of an injury timeout. Welcome back, everybody. We're just catching the replay of this. It went off of the shin guard and then off of the hand of Maury. And that could leave a mark there. We're going to see as he's taken off for an injury timeout. We'll see how that's going to go. Yeah, Living Room's pointed out Columbus, KC, Orlando, Salt Lake, Portland, and we can go on the list. I think Nashville's on there now too. And, there's a few other teams that call them mid-market level type teams where they might have one major league sport or two, but they certainly don't have 4 in those marketplaces. And MLS has kind of slipped in behind and made themselves a presence. I think Austin, Texas is another one. They've got themselves a team. Well, they're the only show in town in Austin other than college sports. So yeah, very interesting, the business model, the way that Major League Soccer has come about. I'm not sure if Maury's going to come back in. They do have a catcher warming up and throwing the ball. We'll take a look at that in just a moment here if Maury can't continue. But Maury will continue as he sprints out of the dugout. He's back onto the field of play looking like the champion that he is. I don't know if that was Ishikawa or Fukunaga who is getting warm over there, getting his arm ready. But it is going to be Maury back into the ball game here. Our friend standing on the money says, I switched it to under 9.5. He cashed out the over. Well, we're going to find out right here, as it is a runner at first with 1 gone here in the 7th. No balls and 1 strike to McKinnon. And here comes the pitch. It's a fastball swung on. It is lifted down the right field line. And this is drifting into the netting. It's going to be foul. It's going to run the count 0-2 on McKinnon. 1 swing of the bat could change that, as it could be a ball deposited into the seats to change over from a 8 to a 10, which would be that half of the score line. Standing Money says he added Dragons under 2.5 too. That might be a better score line there. As here comes the offering from the right-hander who kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count is 1-2. The ball games are getting near the finish, as the Swallows, it looks like, have knocked off the first one of the Carp 1-0. It'll be the first of the ball games that have reached their completion. And here comes the offering. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 1-2 to McKinnon. I'll have to take a look and see if that is indeed the scoreline. I don't know if I always trust Google or not for everything, but it does look like, well, they say it's in the top of the 9th inning, at least on the NPB site. But the Google site is saying that game is a final. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that's down in the dirt. Good block there by the catcher, Maury. As it squirts away from him, the count runs 2-2 to McKinnon. Just have to see how the other games pan out. It's now 7-0 for the Hawks over the Chibalote Marines. I just think that this year, this could be a tire fire for Chiba. I don't know how they're going to do over there. It might be just an absolute pour gasoline on the mound and watch it burn year for the Marines. So the right-hander Yamazaki ready to deliver again. Here's the 2-2. It's a split figure pitch, swung on and missed, and he's going to get McKinnon on strikes for the second out of the inning. It's going to leave it all up to Shuta Tonosaki. Well, Tonosaki is living hot cold. Last night he was 3 for 3 and 2 walks. Tonight he is yet to reach the bases this evening, as he's 0 for 3. It's funny how that is sometimes. You can really, really feel like you got something going, and the next night you come right out and you're as cold as ice. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. We'll catch up on some Major League Baseball scores. For this half inning is completed, and we'll score in some of those as well. It was not a full slate of games in the big leagues tonight in the North American side. There was only 5 games in action. As the right-hander Yamazaki works to the set position, here's the 0-1 pitch. It's a fastball that moves Tonosaki off of the plate. The count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Right-handed hitting Tonosaki, waiting here on the offering from the right-handed throwing Yamazaki. As he holds set, now he kicks and fires. It is a fastball swung on and it's lifted foul. It's going to run the count to 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. As we said, curious to see how this one's going to wrap up here tonight. More importantly, how our picks are doing as well. We're pretty pleased so far, as we've got some of the stuff is coming through for us. Here comes the 1-2 pitch as the righty Yamazaki delivers. It's a fastball that just misses off the outside corner, and the count's now 2-2. This pace here, if you include this game, we'll hit on 4 of the 6. Hopefully we can grab one of those other 2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, it's a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count is now 3-2 to Tonosaki. Well, it's going to be good old-fashioned hard ball here. Yamazaki's going to have to challenge him. I'm sure he doesn't want to put another base runner on as they get into the meat of the batting order, as Yamakawa waits his turn on deck. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is to Shuta Tonosaki. As the right-hander Yamazaki works to the set position. Now he delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It is popped foul down the right field line, but this is going to drift off into the seats. It's going to keep the count at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is. Ben said the first game of the series had a wild finish. Yeah, it did. Looked like the Buffaloes were dead to rights. They got one, I believe, in the top of the 9th inning, and then they had the other one in the 10th, and that's how it ended. as they didn't walk it off, but they had scored that run in the top of the 10th inning, and the Lions couldn't do anything. Lions let that one squander. That would be bullpen implosion number 1. There's a fastball swung on it, is grounded up the middle, and it's going to get past the diving shortstop Noguchi into center field. That's going to put runners at first and second. As Tanasaki's aboard with a single, that's his first hit of the night, and that's going to bring up Otaki Yamakawa. So right on cue, as Ben Roberts is mentioning here, now we've got the Pacific League home run champion coming to bat, as he is going to be here. I got a question for Ben Roberts, as he is spent time in Japan. I understand that tickets for the ball games on giveaway days can be very difficult to get. I don't know if Ben's got any insight into what he thinks the best time to go to some of the games are. I'm not going to approach anybody for tickets at this point. I only know a couple of scouts in that area. I don't know a whole bunch of people, so I'm going to be going as a fan. There's a first pitch fastball swung on. This ball has popped up into center field. Yamakawa got too much underneath it. The ball is going to fall into the glove of Fukuda, and that is going to do it here for the Lions in their half of the 7th. Well, they threaten, but they don't score. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left aboard. We're now through 7 complete. Your score is the Orix Buffaloes 6 and the Saitama Seibu Lions 2. Stick around, everybody, and we'll talk baseball tickets when we return after this. Appreciate you guys for listening in tonight. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We got Jimmy Redbeard in the house tonight. We appreciate you for popping in. And our friend Ben Roberts, as we were talking in the last half inning about baseball tickets in Japan, he was saying that interleague games are easy to get. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be going to the interleague games because I'm not going to be there in the month of, I believe, May and June. Late May, early June is when they run their interleague series. But I am going to be there a little bit later, and hopefully we can get to some of the games. I understand the teams like the Giants, the Carp, specifically on the weekends, Fukuoka, hard to get tickets in the weekend games, but during the week you can get your stuff and probably go to the stadium single seat to be able to get. We do have a pitching change for the Lions, as number 59 is now in the ball game, and that will be Ren Omagari. So he is the next pitcher used. And also, too, depends on the team who is playing away that you may have to be able to get. So 59, Ren Omagari in the ball game, as he is going to be the 5th pitcher used tonight by the Lions. Omagari will be entrusted to face Tomoya Mori, Yumamune, and Marwin Gonzalez. Ben says, yeah, the Tokyo Dome could be tough. I'm going to try to get a midweek game at the Dome if I can, because that way I think would be the best route to try to go. It'd be a Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday, or a Thursday game. Fingers crossed on that one. As Tomoya Mori bats here, as he is facing the right-hander who kicks and delivers. It's a first pitch fastball taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1 to Mori. Mori stood him straight up. He didn't like that call. As the right-hander ready to go again. As he kicks and delivers, it is a split finger pitch and misses down, and the count is now 1-1. I am going to try to access the tickets. Obviously, I'm going to go as far as the day of or the morning of. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the box office is open around 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning on game days. So if I go on a game day, maybe I can get myself tickets early. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count now is 2-1 to Maury. I have a feeling if I get to a midweek game or a weekend game, I'm going to try to get the Chiba Lotte Marines on the weekend affair. Go see Chiba in the weekends. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count now goes to 3-1 on Maury. I don't know about the Seibu Seibu Lions. Based on the crowd I'm seeing here tonight, it's a pretty solid crowd to see the Lions. So here's the 3-0 pitch as the right-hander holds at the belt. Now he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball that misses outside. It's going to be ball 4. And Tomoya Mori is aboard for the third time tonight. It's the first time via a walk, second time via a walk. Actually, it's the fourth time he's been on board tonight. He's been on an error, and he's got 2 walks and a single. So Mori is the runner at first. We're going to see if they're going to keep him running there or not. As the manager has come out of the bullpen and the dugout, and it looks like Tomoya Mori's night is finished. We'll get you the pinch runner for him in just a moment. So a pinch runner for Mori at first base. That's going to be number 10. Number 10, it looks like it's Koji Oshiro on to run. So Oshiro here to pinch hit. Yeah, Ben says you can also get tickets in advance at the 7-Eleven using the ticket machines there. Yeah, I'm curious to see how that's going to work. I understand that they are that as well. And here's the first pitch to Yumamune. He squares the bunt, but he takes that upstairs for a ball. The count is 1-0. So, yeah, being able to get tickets through the 7-Eleven would be an interesting piece, that's for sure. Probably save me having to go down to the stadium. Does every 7-Eleven have a ticket machine? That would be the question I would want to ask. I mean, every 7-Eleven seems like there's one on every corner. I'd definitely be able to, if I could get the Giants, save me having to go to the stadium. Although I will go to the stadium because I'd like to do another tour of that Hall of Fame. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball bunted down. It's a good one, fielded by the pitcher. He throws to first, and Mune is going to be retired. That's going to go down as a sacrifice. 1-4 on that one. Advancing over to second is the runner, Oshiro. It's going to put him into scoring position, and it brings the second baseman, Marwin Gonzalez, to the plate. That would be good. And I wonder if those tickets can be purchased using, what options would they be? Would they be an option being cash, or they use credit card? Either way, it wouldn't make a difference to me. Curious to know what that would be in that situation. We have Gonzalez stepping up to the plate. And the first offering to him is a breaking ball that misses inside for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Marwin Gonzalez. I have to start plotting my games out of who I want to see, when I want to see them. Try to do a little tour over there and give some feedback on how to get to the stadiums, and always interested in some stadium food. Hopefully they've got some good stuff. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It's a fastball swung on. It's pop foul. It's going to reach the seats behind the third base dugout. Counts 1-1. I'm also interested in the structure of the stadiums, how the stadiums look. That's pretty cool. Ben says, I remember correctly, you choose the tickets. It prints out paper for you. Take it up to the checkout counter, and then you pay with cash or card, and they give you the tickets there. That's pretty good. Here's the 1-1 pitch. It's a fastball that just misses inside, and the count is now 2-1. So I'd be curious to see where that's going to be. I think that, as I said, there's a number of 7-Elevens all around everywhere in Japan. It's pretty amazing stuff. They actually have good food there. So here comes the 2-1 pitch as the right-hander holds set. Now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and it's lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats behind the third base dugout, and the count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. After you change the banner here, we are in the top of the 8th inning, as it is a 6-2 ball game. It's kind of slowed down a little bit again. Our friend Ben says, great food. Missed that living back in the States again. Yeah, certainly going to 7-Eleven. I don't know if I want to eat anything at the 7-Eleven. I've got one near me about 3 or 4 blocks away. There's a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count now is 3-2 to Gonzalez. Yeah, Ben says, the only thing I'm buying at 7-Eleven are the Slurpees. I've got a Slurpee, I'll have that, but that is not something that, ironically, you see in Japan. But you can get your Coca-Cola with vitamin. The lemon flavor, of course. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Gonzalez as the right-hander leans in and gets his sign, does Omagari. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It has popped up over on the third base side in foul territory, racing over and not able to come up with it is the catcher, Suge. And there is going to fall into the Buffalo dugout. It's going to keep the count at 3-2. I wonder if this is going to, where Marwin Gonzalez is going to make him pay. He popped it up. It went right over to the side, and he just kind of got caught up with the stanchion over there. I don't think he would have made the play anyway. Our friend in the living room says he's so above eating a big bite hot dog. The hot dogs, I wouldn't touch anything. But over in Japan, they actually have good food in there. And also one of the interesting pieces, if you go to a Lawson's, you can get yourself an egg sandwich. So here comes the pitch. It's a fastball swung on. It's a line drive. Hit up the middle. It's a base hit. It's into center field. And stopping at third is going to be the pitch runner, Oshiro. That's going to put runners on the corners. A base hit there by Marwin Gonzalez, his second hit of the evening. He goes now 2 for 8 on the year. More, the runner Oshiro stops at third, and that's going to bring Kenya Wakatsuki to the plate. Our friend, the living room says, I'm so above eating a big bite hot dog. Well, yeah, actually, if you've been to Japan and you've tried their food there, everything here becomes second rate at the 7-Eleven. The 7-Eleven stuff there is at a whole other level. You gotta tip your hat to them for sure. We'll get you some scoring updates here in just a moment as we're flicking back over. Have a peek. Swallows 1-0 over the Carp. Yamuri now final over Chinichi 2-0. So we're pumping our fists. We've got 2 predictions correct out of the 6 games that we've made. We got 4 more still to come in. We're looking large on 2 more. And who knows what's going to happen with the Eagles and the Bay Stars. If we can get those as well, then we're on a heck of a roll tonight. So they've got the middle is in double play depth. The defense is in at the corners. And so that is going to bring Kenya Wakatsuki to the plate. Wakatsuki tonight has got 2 hits and 3 trips. He's singled twice and he has struck out. He is a double play candidate. He bats from the right side against the right-hander Omagari. As the right-hander works to the set position. And now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses low and away, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. I don't even know the last time I've had any food at 7-Eleven. I have to think really long and hard about that. It would probably be when I was in Japan, but before that, I can't even remember when. if ever. So here comes the 1-0 pitch as the right-hander holds set. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This is grounded foul down the left field line, just barely foul past the third base bag, and the count now is even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Kenya Wakatsuki. You have to say it's got to be as I said before, the Lawsons in Japan, they have an egg sandwich, and it's when you get the egg sandwich, you can also get egg and ham if you want it, or egg and cheese, or egg, cheese, and ham. Those are all pretty good. So here comes the 1-1 pitch, and they squared a bunt this time, does the batter Wakatsuki, but he bunts it foul. They threw a little bit of wrench into that, did the Buffaloes, but 1 ball and 2 strikes it is now to Wakatsuki. Taking the bat out of his hands, I guess, when you're hitting in the 8 spot. With everybody playing back a little bit, that got everybody on their toes. Ben says egg sandwiches are a staple. Yeah. You know, I mean, for whatever it was, basically like $2.30, if that, you can get yourself an egg sandwich. So you walk into the 7-Eleven or the Lawson's in particular, get the egg sandwich, you get yourself a drink. What is going on here? As I'm watching the batter here at the plate, now it's a little bit different. It was a bit strange. There's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded up the middle. It's fielded by the second baseman. Over to second for 1. Back to first. It's going to be a 4-6-3 double play. As Wakatsuki has grounded into it to end the inning here, as he's gone for the 3rd out. Gonzalez erased at second for the 2nd out, and that's going to do it. There was no runs in the inning. There was a hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We're moving to the bottom of the 8th. Your score 6-2 for the Buffaloes. We'll be back with the call of the bottom of the 8th inning when we return after this. Appreciate everybody for being here with us tonight and sticking it out.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, ooh, I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it. Fuse like a magnet, lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shoot tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters to come to bat here in the batting order, but it does look like we have another pitching change. It is going to be number 45, Shota Abe, on in relief for the Buffaloes as he is taking over here. He is going to be pitcher number 5 used by Orix here tonight. So Shota Abe is in. It's also going to be Kenya Wakatsuki, who was moved in behind the plate, so they are going to lose their designated hitter as the Buffaloes had taken Tomoya Mori out as a pinch runner. So Wakatsuki in, and the pitcher will hit in Mori's spot in the batting order, which is right now the 5th spot. So Takeya Nakamura to lead it off. He is 1 for 3. He's singled and scored a run tonight. 1 for 4 on the season is the big fella. He swings through a first pitch fastball for the first strike, and he is no balls and 1 strike. It'll be Nakamura, Ito, and Suge slated to come to bat here in the 7th inning. This is the part of the batting order that has got runners on base. Just haven't been able to do anything with it. There's a fastball swung on and pop foul behind home plate. The count is now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. The living room is wondering if the last one gave him a bird. Well, I don't know if it was just the last one. There might have been a whole host of those gals in there that might have flipped you off. As here comes the 0-2 offering as the lefty now kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count is now 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Nakamura. It'll be Ito who will come to bat next. And then Suge. Lions are starting to run out of time here as they're going to come down to their final outs. There is a breaking ball swung on and driven into the netting foul down the left field line. And the count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. As we are past the 1 o'clock hour Pacific time. On the west coast of North America, it is 4 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. As he kicks and delivers, it is a split finger pitch. Swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 1-2 to Nakamura. As we said, we're keeping our eyes on those other games that are getting close to being finals. Going to the bottom of the 9th inning in Hokkaido, it's 3-3 with the Golden Eagles. The right-hander now kicks and delivers to Zabi, and it's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lined into left field, coming in on it, and he's going to get down, and it's going to get by the left fielder. Dinging hard as the big fella, Nakamura into second base. We're going to see if they're going to rule that a single for sure, but will it be an error for that extra base? We'll have to wait and see. I'm pretty confident they may rule that a double with the home scorer. We'll see what the official scorer has to say. That pitch there was hung up in the zone. He lined it. The left fielder channel came running in, and he misplayed that. He couldn't even stop it. Ball got by him. The center fielder, Fukuda, nice job of covering. He was able to get to that ball, and it didn't cause any more damage. So Ito now at the plate here, and the first pitch is a split finger pitch swung on. It's grounded over to third, backhanded by Mooney, who throws to first. It's a ground out 5-3, and it is Ito retired for only the second time tonight. He had a couple of hits in this one so far. And that is going to bring up the catcher, Senasuge. And for Suge, he's been aboard twice tonight via the hits, or at least it's supposed to be Suge, and that's who it is still, looks like. Or do we have a pinch hitter on our hands? We're going to have to see here. Looks like it is going to be a pinch hitter. So number 31 coming into the ball game. Pinch hit for the Lions. Let's see what we have here. This is Shota Hiranuma. So Shota Hiranuma into pinch hit. And the first pitch is on its way. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So Senasuge out of the game and Shota Hiranuma in. He's got a very wide stance as he bats from the left side against the right-handed throwing Abbey. Holds at the belt. And now he kicks and fires. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away. It's going to run the count now to 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. So the right-hander Abbey is way up. We have another final in. The SoftBank Hawks have beat the Chibalote Marines 7-0. So from our end of things, we're fist pumping right now. We are 3-0 on our picks. This one comes through before. And then, of course, the winners of those other games, the base stars, is who we have picked. As a fastball swung on, it is lifted foul over on the third base side. Racing over and making the catch is Wakatsuki. He had to come a long way to get the ball. That's a great defensive play. Kenya Wakatsuki flashing the wheels. He gets out of there and he is able to make the catch. That is going to retire the Lions for the second out of the inning, and that'll leave it all up to the shortstop, Yamamura. Our friend Javier is here, and he's welcomed here. Our poor friend, the living room, is lamenting some of this stuff. He only has eyes for Rio. So 2 gone here, and that is going to bring up number 1 here in the order. So it looks like we have yet another pinch hitter. This is going to be a left-handed stick entering the game. And the first offering is a fastball that misses up for ball 1. We'll try to see who that is here in our stat sheet. We don't see anybody here. So we're going to have to see if we can get the number on that somewhere else. I've got nothing on the Saitama listing for player number 1. And here comes the offering. It's a fastball. This is swung on. It is lifted down the left field line. Moving over underneath it is the left fielder. That is Chano. He makes the catch, and that is going to retire batter number 1, whoever that is, for the third out of the inning. We'll have to get that for you in a second. So there was no runs, 1 hit. It was the hit by Nakamura, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We are now through 8 complete innings. It is a 6-2 scoreline. We'll be back in a minute to find out who that guy was who just came up to bat. Hang tight, guys. We'll be back in just a moment. We do have a pitching change. It is going to be Masuda coming in for the Lions. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back, everybody. We're just checking our lineups here. As we said, we had a pinch hitter that last half inning. That was going to be number 1 for the Lions. And that was Kuriyama. I don't have him on my list. I don't know why, because we have seen Takumi Kuriyama before. He was the one to fly out to left field to end the inning. It looks like we are going to have a pitching change on our hand here as well. As we said, it is going to be Masuda into the ball game. Looks like he is coming in to get some work. He has been the years past. He has closed out games. He had 31 saves last year for the Lions. So this is Tetsushi Masuda into the ball game here. He is going to be the 6th pitcher used tonight by the Seibu Lions. It's not a safe situation, obviously, because they are down by 4. But Masuda coming in to get some work. And who is he going to be facing? Well, looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter here for the Buffaloes as well, as number 50 is entered into the fray. So Chano's night is done. I think his night was done before it even started. There's a first pitch fastball. This is swung on. It is looped into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit. So that's Yuya Oda with a pinch hit single to lead it off here in the top half of the 9th inning. So one would have to think that we might see a bunt here in this situation to try to get him over to bang him home. They do have a 4-run lead, but they can get themselves another point here to extend it. This could be the death nail for the Seibu Lions. So let's see how this one's going to play out. So it is Tomoya Noguchi at the plate. He is officially 0 for 3 in a walk tonight. Batting from the left side, and here comes the offering. He does square to bunt. And he gets it down. It's along the first baseline. It's a good one. It is fielded. They throw to first, and they barely get it in time. That's going to go down as a sacrifice, 3-4. Nice bunt there by Noguchi. So sack 3-4 for the first out of the inning. It advances Oda over to second. That's going to bring up Shuhei Fukuda to the plate. Well, for Fukuda, he is officially 1 for 4 tonight. He's got a single. He scored a run. He's also flown to left, lined to third, and struck out. So he is coming to bat here. The right-hander Masuda has the runner at second base and one gone. The other games, as we pick up the scores from around the NPB, the other 2 games underway are all tied in the 9th inning. Looks like it's going to be extra innings for the Fighters and the Golden Eagles. We may stick around and give you a little bit of bonus action after this one, as the Golden Eagles are locked up at 3. I don't know if we'll do the whole one. We'll see how this game finishes off here. Here comes the offering from the right-hander who kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0 to Fukuda. Check that, 2-0 to Fukuda. Missed a pitch in there somewhere as we were giving you the live updates. So 2 balls and no strikes. Fukuda digs himself back in. Masuda ready to go again as the right-hander works to the set position. He checks the runner, and now he delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It is popped up in the infield. It's just drifting back on it. Now coming in is going to be the left fielder who's going to make the catch, and that is going to be Yuji Kaneko. So Kaneko makes the catch for the second out of the inning, and that is going to leave it all up to Kai Nakagawa. Nakagawa tonight is 2 for 3. He's got a pair of doubles. He scored a couple of runs. He's also walked, driven in a run, and popped to the shortstop. So that is where we stand here. Fred Javier asked the question. He says, what team is hitting? It's the Buffaloes hitting here in the top of the 9th inning. It is a 6-2 scoreline for the Buffaloes as they are beating up on the Lions here. Runner at second is Oda. He was the pinch hitter who had the base hit, and the hitter right now is Nakagawa, who is hitting the ball well. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses outside for a ball, and the count is 1-0. So back-to-back nights, the first baseman for the Buffaloes has a couple of hits. He's got 4 hits in the 2 games in this series already. As we said, top of the 9th inning, and the other games, well, as we said, they're going into extras in Hokkaido, and they're going to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Hanshin Tigers tied up at 5 with the Yokohama Dana Bay Stars. As that last pitch was a breaking ball that dropped in for a called strike to Nakagawa, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Right-hander Masuda checks his sign from his catcher. He's ready to go back to work here as he holds to the set position. Now he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is now 2-1. To get an update on the catching situation as well for the Lions, as the starter Suge had left the ball game. So 2 balls and 1 strike it is as Masuda works to the set position. He checks the runner at second and now delivers. It's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner for a called strike, and the count is now 2-2 to Nakagawa. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it is. Again, it's Koga now behind the plate for the Seibu Seibu Lions. So we have to get our update there. That's Yuto Koga. So there you go. Here we go. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is looped into right field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Rounding third and heading home is going to be Oda. That is going to bring in the 7th run of the ball game for the Buffaloes An RBI single by Nakagawa, who keeps his hitting on a hot streak. He's got himself an RBI that extends the lead to 7-2. And that is going to bring up Yataro Sugimoto. The Buffalo Bats are booming tonight. So 7-2 now for the Buffaloes. For those of you who are looking for that over-under, our friend earlier on who was in here and decided to go the under, it could be in jeopardy. So 7-2 is the scoreline now, as the runner at first is Nakagawa, and that brings Yataro Sugimoto to the plate. Sugimoto has a home run under his belt tonight. Officially 1 for 3. He's also walked and scored a run. So here's the split finger pitch that is swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. Yep, standing on money says 7-2. That is where the scoreline is now, as they have just punched one across. Standing money says one more and they lose. Am I safe? I don't think you're safe at all. I think that it's still a situation. Remember, I talked about the Lions bullpen being a nail biter, and I don't know what they're going to bring in for the Buffaloes. They wouldn't be their best guy. There's a fastball swung on. This ball's belted down the line in left field. This ball's going to be trouble. It's down and it's into the corner. It's off the wall. Rounding third and heading home is Nakagawa, and there it is. It's going to be the 8th run of the ball game for the Buffaloes. A RBI for Sugimoto, a double of that variety, and that is going to bring in Nakagawa all the way from first base. And the score now is 8-2 for the Buffaloes. So our poor friend standing on money is not standing as tall as he was earlier on, I'm sorry to say. It looks like that one has taken a chunk out of your investment. That ball there now is going to extend the lead to 8-2. They're going now to the bottom of the 10th inning. The Fighters and the Golden Eagles are locked at 3. And they're going to the top of the 10th as the Bay Stars and the Tigers are locked up at 5. I'd have to give you a abbreviated prediction before tomorrow's games. I'm trying to do that a little bit. We might even do it before we get off here. Not even sure who the pitchers will be for tomorrow, but we might have to give you those predictions ASAP. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep left field. Moving back, it's going to be over the head of the left fielder. Another run is going to score. There comes in one run here, and that's going to be a double for the pinch hitter for Mori, as that was a pinch hitter in that situation, as he was hitting in the pitcher's spot. Sugimoto is going to come all the way around to score. It's going to be yet another run. 9-2 is now the lead. RBI double. We'll have to get that update for you to know who the pinch hitter was in that situation. Looks like it's Oshiro, who had come in to hit. Shiro has got himself RBI double, and that is going to bring up the third baseman Yuma Mune with a 9-2 lead. And here's the first offering to Mune. It's taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. Mune tonight officially 0 for 2. He's lined to short and struck out. He's hit a sac fly and driven in a run, and had a sac bunt that advanced runners around. So officially tonight in the ball game, 0 for 2. As the right-hander Masuda works to the set position, and he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It is grounded through the 4-hole into right field. They're going to hold Oshiro over at third base. Yet another single by Mune, and the Buffaloes are not done wanting to score yet. Our friend in the living room says this guy is a gas can or a tomato can. We're not sure which one it is, but he is definitely a can. Masuda is here getting roughed up the early going. Sometimes closers don't necessarily come in and do well in non-closing situations. Maybe that's what we're witnessing here. As I said, the Lions bullpen is dicey. On top of it, they did not get a good start from Dietrich Jens tonight. That brings Marwin Gonzalez to the plate. For Gonzalez, he is 2 for 4. He's got a single, a double. He's driven in a run. So he is stepping up to the plate. Oh, maybe it's not. They're going to say that's enough for you, Marwin. We're going to pinch hitter on our hands. So who do we have pinch hitting? This is number 38. Looks like Ryota Kurita. The first pitch delivered to him is taken for a strike, and the count is 0-1. So Ryota Kurita in the ball game. As Korea waits here on the offering. Our friend standing on money says, how do they score at the last bit here? And there's a fastball swung on and missed. The count is 0-2. As I said before, they definitely don't have a very good bullpen. So the Lions are going to get runs scored upon them, and sometimes at will. That is the problem with their ball club. Their bullpen is dicey. So here comes the 0-2 offering as Masuda kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away. It's gone over by the netting, and it looks like it's going to be playable. The third baseman, McKinnon, is underneath it. He's going to make the catch, and that's going to do it here. That will retire the Buffaloes in the 8th inning or 9th inning, but not until there was some runs. 3 runs in the inning on 5 hits. Well, they pounded out a bunch of hits in this one, have they ever? There were no errors, and there was a runner left aboard. So we are now 2 runners left aboard. We are now going to the bottom of the 9th inning. Your score is 9-2 for the Buffaloes. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back with the call. The bottom of the 9th inning.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole. Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. We have another pitching change for the Buffaloes. It's going to be Taisho Urushibara. Let's see if we can get that one in the tongue twister. So Urushibara on in relief here. And his fate is on the way. Ball 1, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. The right-hander ready to deliver again. Shibara delivers a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count now goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strikes. Hopefully we'll be able to get our picks done, maybe even before we go. I'd like to try to see if we can get the starting pitchers for tomorrow night. And that will help us make some decisions. Sometimes we don't always get those until later. As here comes the offering. It is a fastball that just misses inside. The count now is even at 1-1. Or check that. It's now 2-1. Game is starting to become. It looks like we do have the starting pitchers for tomorrow. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Sunday starters in the NPB. There is a split finger pitch and misses down, and the count is now 3 balls and 1 strike. See if anything really pops at me here. I'm not so sure I like any of these starters for tomorrow. And here comes the 3-1 pitch. It's a fastball that misses upstairs to Konecko, and that's going to be ball 4. So he is going to be aboard with a walk, and that'll bring up the top of the order in Mark Payton. Down by 7, going to be very difficult to get back in this one. They're going to have to get a lot of help and a lot of support. That 3 runs that the Buffaloes added in the top of the 9th inning is an absolute backbreaker for the Lions. So Mark Payton here steps up to the plate. He is batting from the left side. 2 for 4 tonight. 2 for 9 on the young campaign as he waits here. And the first pitch is a breaking ball. It's taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1 to Payton. He's also grounded into a double play and grounded to second his other trips to the plate tonight. It was kind of ugly in the exhibition. Payton had taken a pitch that had hit him in the face. There's a fastball that is swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes it is. Right-hander against the left-hander. As the lefty Payton waggles the bat. The offering is ready to come from the righty Shibara. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 1-2. David McKinnon waits his turn on deck as the Americans are at the top 1 and 2 spots in the batting order for the Lions. So the left-handed hitting, Payton waiting here on the offering from the right-hander Urshibara, and who kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on it is slap foul down the third baseline. The count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. I do thank everybody who has popped into the stream tonight to listen to our call. Hopefully you guys can make it back again tomorrow. We'll be back at it again. And here comes the pitch. It is a split figure pitch swung on. It's grounded over to first. Throw down to second for 1, but it's not going to be able to come back to be a double play. It's going to be a ground out to, or a fielder's choice in that case. Payton's going to be safe over at first. 3-6 on the putout to retire Konecko. So reaching on that fielder's choice is Payton. And that'll bring up David McKinnon to the plate. So McKinnon steps up. 1 for 4 tonight. He's got a single in 4 trips. 2-8 on the young season. Bats here looking to try to get himself on base. It looks like the Fighters have walked it off against the Golden Eagles. There's a fastball swung on. This ball's lined, and it's cut by the second baseman. Nice leaping catch, as that is going to retire McKinnon for the second out of the inning. So it doesn't look like we're going to be perfect tonight. We're going to need the base stars to come from behind if they're going to do some damage here. But the final between the Fighters and the Golden Eagles, 4-3. We thought we would go over and look at that game after, but that won't be on the docket tonight. As this game is still going on in its 9th inning. Well, we got 2 gone now, and that is going to leave it all up to the second baseman, Shuta Tanesaki. Tanesaki here waiting on the offering as the right-hander Urshibara ready to deliver. It's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into center field. Moving underneath it is the center fielder, Fukuda. He's going to make the catch. That is going to do it here. That is going to end the ball game. as the Lions are gone for the third out of the inning. They had no runs in the inning. There was no hits, no errors, and there was one runner left the board. Your final score was a 9-2 ball game for the Orix Buffaloes over the Seibu Lions. Stick around, everybody. We'll come on back and I'll recap this one up for you in just a couple moments, and then we'll call it a night. Hang tight. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back, everybody. Your final score was the Orix Buffaloes 9 and the Seibu Lions 2. The scoring got going in the first inning. The Buffaloes hit a 2-run homer with 2 outs off of Dietrich Enns. It was Yutaro Sugimoto going yard. He drove in Kai Nakagawa after he walked with 2 out. They added to their lead, did the Buffaloes in the third inning, and it was a steady diet of singles. With 1 out, it was Shuhei Fukuda singled, then it was Kai Nakagawa singled. After a walk to Yutaro Sugimoto, and it was Tomoya Mori reaching on an error by the first baseman. That brought home the first run of the inning. Then a sacrifice fly hit by Yuma Mune brought in run number 2, and then the last one was a sacrifice fly off the bat of Marwin Gonzalez, off the bat of Yuma Mune, and then a double by Marwin Gonzalez that brought in the fourth run of the inning, and that made the score 6-0. The Lions got a couple of back in the fourth, as it was a single by Yamakawa and a single by Nakamura, followed by a single by Ito, and then a single by Suge drove in the first run. And then after a flyout, it was Yuichi Kaneko knocking in another run with a single. And the score at that point was 6-2. Well, it got into the ninth inning, and then it was the Buffaloes adding to their lead. With leading off the inning, it was Yuya Oda singled. He was sacked over to second by Noguchi, and then after a flyout by Fukuda, Nakagawa singled to drive in a run, and then a double by Sugimoto brought home Nakagawa, and then a double by Oshiro brought in Yutaro Sugimoto, and that was your final score, 9-2. Once again, everybody, we appreciate everybody for listening in tonight. Ben Roberts, Living Room, Standing on Money. Javier Hernandez, anybody else that was in here earlier, we appreciate you guys for bumping in. Shotgun Shell was here for a bit. Thanks again, everybody. We appreciate you all for listening. We'll be back on again the airwaves tomorrow night. Come on back and listen again with us. We'd love to have you here. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you soon.